All right. Good freaking morning. Let me move this one a little bit. Oh well, buddy. Let me move this a little smaller. Hello, agent. Okay, that's better. Mm-hmm. Dude, I am so freaking excited for this. All right. Honestly, should we do some fun? It made you unsub? What the fuck, man? Welcome in, though. Hello, Granny. Who I got winning game 1, agent? I honestly don't know. And Granny's here. It's gonna be a good day. Need a voice? Yes. Okay, I'm good. Good morning, Granny. Oh my goodness, could she? I'm not playing, bruv. I'm being lazy. You're sick? Hell nah, bro. I'm sorry. Dude, why can I not hear you?
Huh?
Oh, hi.
Hello.
It is Grantia, agent. They won. Good morning, Gucci. Hello, Ems. Okay. Wait, agent, do you know where the drop map is? I cannot find it, like, anywhere. Hell nah, bro. I would lose. Dude, I am not that good at building, bro. Like, we're okay-ish. A zero build one? Could. Could. Oh well, Granny. You excited? Yeah, see, I figured it would be, empty up there. So, like, no shadows living up there for them and tomorrow. Figured that would make Ducky happy too.
Oh, that's actually up there. I thought it was hallucinating.
No. Figured it would be fun,
Oh,
to have something up there.
mhm.
Yeah, don't you love it, Gucci? Um,
Question, Kev.
Oh, yes.
Are they supposed to be able to hear it?
What?
Are they supposed to be able to hear it?
Oh, they can't hear shit, can they? Oh,
No.
God. What if? Hold on. Thank you.
Overall, and it's not just
Okay.
because we're talking about Thomas HD.
Now
but
should be able
because
to
again,
hear.
they have, for most of the season, they felt like have been the second best team.
Yeah, they have, and it's funny because yes, they've been the second best team, but we've only
Okay,
haven't
I
really
was
seen
still
too
trying to
much of
find
these,
the drop
lobbies,
map.
right? They only played one game of the Heats. They qualified through with that first game victory royale, and a lot of the complaints, a lot of the talking points around this duo going into this major final is that they're one of those teams that maybe doesn't have that cohesion like we see for maybe a Sky and Scroll, but just two very, very talented individual solo players. And I want to highlight Thomas HD.
I had this one up here so I could do stuff without y'all seeing.
2026. He's one of those players that's just had unbelievable longevity. Been playing all the
Yeah,
way
see,
back since
Goof,
the
this is
World
why
Cup
I set
days,
up,
still playing at the very
another
top
monitor
level, which when
so
you
I could
compare it
save
to the
my
narrative
ass.
of this season
You
so
send me
far,
one, you're
a
the
lot of
fucking
those
goat,
top
bro.
players falling off, not making it to the major finals, having a really rough time, but Thomas is a bit of an anomaly in that, which is really nice to see.
It's interesting seeing Thomas play with another fragger, Levin. We've heard this being talked about as one of the win conditions. You've either got to be 2 IGLs or
All
2
breeze,
fraggers
bro.
this season. How does Focus line up against Thomas?
Sounds like you've been talking a lot too easy there, Frankie. I mean,
I've been reading his tweets, okay? Never miss
Focus,
one.
he's been getting a lot of praise, and rightfully so. He's been unbelievable, right? He doesn't have anywhere near the experience of Thomas HD, but when you watch these guys playing the game, you'd never know that, right? Because he just looks fantastic at every given opportunity. I'm very excited for these two. I think, again, when you look at the archetype of team, I think you are correct in saying you need 2 players with that level of firepower. And the same thing I said about Sky where their individual ability, I think, will be, you know, very important to their success this weekend. You have to say the same for Thomas.
How many options do we have, do you think, to add? Hold on. Okay, how many? Fuck off ads. Alright, who's gonna... Okay, we're gonna do a poll, right? Who's gonna place the highest, like, each game? Who do we think? There's no one landing up here? Interesting. If you got input as well? Okay, yeah, so we got where's my ad? Here.
I already know who's winning.
Ems, it's EU. Last time I checked, Pete was NA. Who is winning?
How do you see on the board? You guess. Why is some red? What does that mean? They're out?
No, they're contested. Like, can't, like, someone is landing on them. Dude, I cannot see him.
He's up at the top, in the middle. Yarr.
That's Malibuka. Yeah.
They winning.
Okay. So we got Pico Malibuka. You freaking hate cats? Well, congrats. Don't know what you want. Okay, hold on. I know Agent said Shark and Teeny because I have a brain cell. Do we have any more options, guys? I have one left.
One left. Let me see. I feel like either Thomas HD or Moneymaker would be somebody's vote.
The flopper is not gonna win shit. Sorry.
I'm just saying people would usually pick the people they know their names.
True.
I mean, Thomas has been doing pretty good.
I have not been watching too much. But I mean, look at this flopper. Like, look where he is, bro.
Yeah, he's dead.
If he's gonna survive, he's gonna be like dead soon.
Either Thomas or Swizzy. They've both been doing pretty good.
Alright, we'll keep Thomas on this one for now, and then we'll do Swizzy on the next one if he does anything. Oh.
And 50 of them still had Sharkatini in their top 5.
Holy
while being
shit, that was good aim.
Bear in mind, last year we saw one of the best, contested, grand final performances we'd ever seen
He's on
from
that too.
Weezy, Swizzy, and Mustache, where
Like
they
I
placed
had
fourth
to.
place. And so a lot of people thinking these guys are going to come through and just do that here today. I think it says a lot about how much people rate Shark. It says a lot about how much people rate Teeny. The big thing is Wonkyland is a spot where they, we might not see them fighting it.
Yeah, that Teeny's got good aim. And Shark's been doing good too.
Teeny is like good.
How likely are we to see Teeny make a move and just bring back the 2024 strat, Levin?
Hey, anything's possible with Teeny. I think that's the one thing we've learned.
I still can't
That would
between
be
my people.
fun.
Absolutely, especially this
You
season.
gotta pick something.
Let's head over though to Carter and
Huh?
Taco because I want to see what they've got their eyes on in the lobby.
I was the first one to vote. What do you mean?
I mean, there's just so many good teams to try and choose from here at Takata, but I'm gonna.
I see my man's name and I clicked.
To just cheating, to be honest. Got a lot of confidence, I think, surrounding this team just because of the fact that they are looking to be in a prime position for establishing their net.
Why does the
surge.
redheaded
There's so
girl look
many
like
teams
Billie
across the
Eilish?
section of the map that are going to be heavily contesting each other.
Huh?
So for these guys, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
taking your shots in the third-party action. And when we see them moving so confidently to secure even their first place finish in their heats,
It's
a
Aquarians.
good reason why people can anticipate that they want to punch
It's
their ticket
she look like
into
Billy
one
in
summit
her
land
lesbian
in
era.
Germany, because what better way to represent than being in your own home turf?
I mean, Billy's with a guy, she wears
100%,
green.
and I'm a bit
Red with a
conflicted.
girl.
Performance in heats was insane, but Div Cups not so much. Looking in other German
Oh
talent,
my
we got
goodness,
Chap
Ems.
and Flixie. Now, Flixie in 2025, I would say, was the best performance for a German player. Trioed with Vico Benno, they won Major 1, they got 6th Major 2, 2nd Major 3, and even 14th at Globals. Now, the thing is, I'm a little hesitant on.
Oh yeah, Agent. Like, I am fucking excited to see the absolute shit show on NA.
Think of that is Billie Eilish.
So much talent at their
Yeah.
disposal. But Frankie, Levin, Minnie, what else have you guys got for us?
Well, I
She
feel
just died.
in the
She did not look like that the
community,
other day.
we've been speaking a lot about the names that didn't make it, but actually now tonight we get to celebrate the names that did, and there are some big names.
Why
in
the
this lobby
fuck would
tonight
you cheat
with a
every
lot to
first
prove,
round?
legacies to
No, so
continue.
they didn't
Levin,
cheat.
when
I mean,
you
it
look
was
at the
cheating.
names here, who do you think this weekend means
Hold
the most
on.
to?
Let me.
Is it, were they doing the
Starters,
fucking search trade shit again?
you have to look
No.
at Cammy, right? Cammy now is the leader
Here.
as far as most FNCS final appearances in EU.
That.
And a big part of that is because a lot of those other players just didn't make it to this final.
Like,
right?
it
He
wasn't-
was tied with Tayson, Mr. Savage, Queasy,
It was
and
getting
now he
an
gets into
advantage
the
and
lead.
it
Even
was
looking at
cheating,
Janis there,
yes.
he now has caught up
But it
with
wasn't
those
like
guys
aimbot
ahead of him
wallhacks type
after
of
making
cheating.
this final. A lot of people are
No
writing Cammy off. A lot of
Ems.
people are trying to even push
No,
it into the category
no
of some of
coffee
these
yet,
guys who've
Jaya.
been
It's
with,
like 5 p.m.,
and
bro.
people say, hey, is Cammy washed? Is he done, right? Like, is he still a relevant player, a relevant contender? He has to show people today.
I am
"No,
hungry,
guys,
though.
I'm not washed. I made it to this
I'm gonna
final.
turn on my
I'm gonna
food
make it
before
to
this game
final.
starts.
And if you give me enough space in this lobby, I might just make it in the run-in to contend to win the whole thing. So,
Oh, by the way,
for me,
dude, I love
Cammy,
these
you
fucking
know, feels
shoes.
that pressure and he can handle it because I think we've seen him do that over the years.
Oh, the
You
can?
can't really blame people for sort of almost forgetting about Cammy because
Let
we
me
haven't seen
see
a
them.
massive Cammy performance in a good
so
while.
you
Had a
pick.
decent run he had last year in trios, actually decent global championships as well, but we haven't seen that huge FNCS winning performance. But he's that sort of player that can turn up on the big stage. He's always turned up on LAN. He's always turned up in the major finals as of late as well. But he's just maybe not had the hype that we expect from someone
There you go.
like
So what
Cammy
did it
himself.
do? I'm
Now,
so
though, of course,
confused.
uncontested towards the west
Okay,
side
so
of
they
Squiggly
used like an
Shores.
app,
I think even on a personal level, Cammy will
extension,
want to just
whatever,
prove why maybe
that
the whole
basically
SETI situation
showed
not
them.
rolling was like, yeah, I've actually come out better in that situation, just from a personal standpoint. I know I would be thinking
What the
about
fuck,
that as
yeah.
well, but no, for him, he just wants to cement his spot right now as, you know, one of the most.
They basically showed them how much search they had done, like all game. Something with a drop map. I don't know exactly what the fuck that was, but oh well, buddy. I don't know. It was so weird and so unnecessary.
There's nothing
To use?
like a chip on the shoulder to motivate you. And I feel like Vico and Malabuka are a duo who might have a few bruises to contend with because they've been up and down so far in Chapter 7. But
Oh my goodness,
Malabuka, when I
buddy.
think about this guy, it feels weird
Okay,
to see
Agent
or
sent
think
you
of a top
a
four and
something
FNCS finals
about the
without
whole
him.
situation.
Yeah, ultimately, somewhat a similar story for these guys as far as the narrative right now in EU is all about these new names, right? All these new up-and-coming players. Who's gonna win FNCS for the very first time this weekend? If I'm Vico at Malabuka, I'm taking that as disrespect. I don't want to hear anybody talk about new names. We've won FNCSs before, and we're gonna do that again here today.
Like, and they
The
are
reality is for them, it was a very, let's say, forgettable Heats performance from these guys.
They're working,
And
we
I
don't
think
want
at
the
times
same
this season,
stories.
and this year, they've maybe not looked their strongest. They've been quite error-prone, I think has been a major problem for these guys. And so hopefully we have a clean performance, a clean IGLN performance from Malabuka here today. Because if these guys can walk away from this weekend as champions, I think it would shut a lot
Goodbye,
of people up when it comes to
Eds.
this narrative that EU's completely
Like,
changed.
I'm
They can just say,
debating.
"Look, guys, we're still here."
Hold on. Do we know
Yeah,
when
and I think
NA
that's gonna be really
starts?
interesting to see.
I think it
Can
was
these
like
guys now just rise to the stakes? Of course, you know, we've spoken so much about these new talents coming through. They haven't proved themselves on the main big stage, whereas players like Malabuka, players like Vico, they absolutely have. You can see Malabuka actually only won one FNCS title. Probably a lot of people, myself included, quite surprised about that. Of course, only one FNCS title for him. But, you know, looking at that drop spot on the map today, looking at their overall situation, looking at the overall landscape of the EU, this is a prime opportunity for them just to do just that. And I think just on the error-prone situation, kind of surprising the fact that both these guys do that. They've always been risk-taking
started at
individually when
11
they played
PM
in
though.
separate teams, and that was sort of a characteristic of Vico, particularly when he was starting out. But nowadays, in their stage of the competition of their careers, you'd expect better from them when it comes to
this
consistency.
is supposed to end
I
at
wanna
8.
just
That's
stay on
like
this
nearly
duo
3
because I
hours
saw
in
Levin,
between.
You wrinkled your nose then. You definitely had
We'll
something
see
to
what
say
we'll
about
do.
something Mini Miner just said there. When Vico and Malabuka got together though, I was a bit surprised. I wasn't sure if these two players would work because of that balance that you've just mentioned there, Mini Miner. These are two risk-taking players, maybe, to paraphrase Queasy again, that's what you need in this particular meta in order to succeed at this version of the game, 11. Do
Ooh,
you
W,
see
bye-bye.
this as a duo that can realistically win an FNCS
Okay,
major
Granny.
in Chapter 7?
Yeah, absolutely. The talent is all there. I think, you know, sort of why I
No.
looked at Mini in that way was just because
Holy shit, it's so hard to type.
these players and their careers.
We
The
know.
one thing you'd probably say has been both of their biggest
Well, we got some new
weaknesses or
sweats
biggest
too, but
moments
they're basically
is
like these ones,
error
just a little
prowess, right? The
different.
ability to sort of maybe make mistakes here and there where you would
Pick.
expect players of
No.
their caliber to get things right. And a lot
Yeah.
of the time it's been their
No.
talent that has been able to bail them out, right?
I'll tell you, we got new ones
Malabuka
too, man.
makes
I'll
a
show
bad
you.
rotation here
Fuck
because
yeah.
he's gonna hit the bank to get himself out of that spot, right? And
Lovely.
ultimately, they're gonna have to do a lot of that.
Ugh.
I was gonna turn on my.
Look, I think they have the ability to win. I see why they're not considered the favourites this weekend, but hopefully they can use it as more.
That's Browns.
People wrong.
Well, there's nothing like playing in front of your home crowd to motivate
Yeah,
you to win, and for a
slow
reason,
something.
this one feels especially important.
You know,
Absolutely.
you never know when I'm gonna
This is a
visit.
list of
You have to have
reasons
hash bars
and
all the time.
performances. You'll notice a trend. He's been at every single one we've done really since the Invitational, since the return of Fortnite Lands back in 2022. And many of the placements have only gotten better year after year. It would be, one, very ironic too incredibly painful if this just happened to be the one land that he missed now. Like, the first land he misses is the one that they do in Germany when his landing placements keep getting better. I know the German fans are going to want to see him there and want to see him playing on the stage, not just, you know, doing a viewing party at the setup.
Yeah, not just one of the best players in Germany, but also one of the most popular players as well. One of the most popular duos, two players that have great legacies within the EU region. So many fans across the world as well, but particularly in Germany.
I got to
so many
go.
people will want to see these guys perform. I'm just excited to see Reason on LAN. You know, it's another reason, if you pardon the pun, that we want to see Reason at a LAN, because that wasn't actually intentional.
I know.
It's
I
another
think
reason
about
why I wanna see-
it.
There's no other word for it. It's another potential to see him.
You're a
perform once again.
leprechaun.
And it's like I just want to see him do it. Like, you know, can he maybe get into that top 3 in a LAN?
They are contested though, and that's going to be their biggest problem. I saw Reason on socials, you know, beforehand, trying to put a bit of pressure on his opponents, going, guys, this is an event for life-changing money. Don't mess up. Don't miss a shotgun shot. Every mistake you make is going to cost you money, and I think he's trying to get in the minds of his opponents here as he...
I really can't imagine Reason mind gaming anyone. He's a teddy bear.
You might know a different Reason to me.
I don't know. He just comes across as a nice guy, basically. Maybe not a teddy bear. That's the wrong word, but approachable is probably the better word to describe Reason as a player. He's Germany's sweetheart. I called him during this. Let's head over though to Adam Carter's, because it is time, my friends, for the first game of the fights.
That's all I gotta say to you, Frankie, about those last comments on Reason. But Takada, look, 2-day format here for the Major 1 Grand Finals. All right, a lot is clearly at stake. Ignore the prize pool. Everybody wants to be at that Major 1 Summit LAN, and it starts right here in these opening games.
I'm excited. This is what we've been waiting for, Taco. Top 20 to qualify to Dusseldorf. A lot of interesting things for this major finals. Major finals, well, we'll see this kind of net switch play out. I'm curious to see how that differs from previous major finals we've seen. We've got one of our top teams contested. Well, I mean, just two
Okay.
teams. Sky and Scroll recently contested. We have Sharktini also contested, but I mean, that's
We're
been
good.
going on
We're
for a while
here.
now,
We're
so
live.
A lot of exciting stuff today.
And of course, you can never anticipate that a team that's contested
It is not
today
coffee
is
machine
also going to
beats,
be
no.
contested tomorrow. Who's going to be able to
That
defend
was
their drop
air
spot?
fryer
Find out, 'cause game 1's ready to roll.
thing.
This first match of the day.
Thank you, Agent.
will
Holy
say a
shit.
lot. Russ is gonna start south though, so for Sharktini, Buddy Fishy.
Uh-huh.
be a little late
See,
to
yeah,
the
you,
party,
like, we kind of need, you know, this
inside
thing
team
called
as well.
food.
We've seen knocks happen out the air multiple times. This is gonna be exciting.
Alright,
But
lock
there's
in,
a
guys.
craziness that's about to build up over
Yum,
by
yeah.
New Sanctuary, legendary POI for starters, and not only that, but easily one of the most active parts of the mini map just in general, Takada. I mean, we saw how many teams are going to be contesting each other almost immediately, and so you have to anticipate that sparks are going to fly. And
I would
whether
if
or
I
not
could,
teams are
yeah.
able to establish
I
those
would.
first couple of footings, that's going to be the real difference maker, because momentum is difficult to build.
Okay, Agent.
It's
Food,
very
I
easy
know,
to kind
but
of
you're gonna have
recognize
food later,
here,
bitch.
I think,
What do you
for these
mean?
first couple of lobbies, so all these teams really just trying to settle in.
Take a quick look at what happened with Reason over here. Quick off spawn engagement, but it looks like Reason Noah are gonna be the ones
W's.
staying on top. The pressure is not gonna get to experienced players like these as we hop on over.
Was Teeny supposed to land up
One
here?
of the main events today, Sharktini up against Huddy Fishy, and they're not gonna waste any time.
More than one prize here at stake over by Wonkulan, another legendary POI in this lobby, but it's going to be Teeny from overhead. Shark trying to find some of these opening shots. Fishy on the run here. Huddy just trying to hold the floor from underneath him. Shark still looking for the top. Gonna try and readdress from a separate angle. Teeny takes a big
Who are we
onslaught,
rooting
and that
for?
forces
The winner,
try
yeah, yeah.
And push back, just a little bit of space created here, but Fishy, Huddy,
Oh, yeah.
they are still just locked inside of this building. Shark and Teeny know that one misstep could be the end of it, and they'll choose to
Winning
disengage,
off spawn, I
but
hope,
only to head
honestly
back
hope
over to the
Teeny
vending.
wins
They're just
this.
trying to make sure that they can build their shield back up.
We know how aggressive this team is. They're not gonna let go so easily. I saw quickly too, Swizzy has actually gone down as well. So tough start. Good news is this is major finals. You mentioned it already, Taco. 12 matches throughout 2 separate days. Chino and Pablo. They have Sandy Strip uncontested. Minnie was saying, despite them being contested or uncontested, it's those later moments of the match that ends up being a bit troublesome for them. And being in
Yes,
what's the
Granny.
hardest lobby now here in the major finals, Surge, it's going to be as difficult as it can be. Rotations are going to be as difficult as they can be. So they're going to really have to make something happen here.
But this is not their first Grands Lobby, Takata, so you just have to imagine that they've definitely done their homework. They've got their plan locked in. Chat Flixie, very similar notes though, much calmer scenes too. North of the map here at Storm Station, uncontested, and so they won't have anybody to kind of intervene with their starting.
Oh,
path.
hell
They're
no.
really just looking to try
I don't
and
fucking
build
know,
up
Goof.
as much as they can before they start looking for some of those early net surge tags. Teams have to be wary though as they make their moves, especially some of the teams in this Frigid Fortress area. Karama and Akira looking to represent France big time here today.
Yeah, I got hopes for this duo. They always seem to make it to finals.
Okay, I can
but
deal with
a
that,
lot of
Goof.
the time, especially recently, they're kind of on the middle
I
end
can
of
think,
the
I just can't
leaderboard.
think
Good
of
news
shit.
is top
Holy
20
grief
is what
fest,
you
bro.
need. But I'd like to see them, you know, I don't know if it's going to be in this major, maybe just this year. I want to see them kind of elevate a little bit more. And instead of being one of those kind of top 15 teams, I want to see them get into that top 10. They have the experience. So we head on over to Squibbly Shores.
Checking back in essentially with Reason and Riley after they won their first off-spawn scuffle over by the gas station. Squibbly Shores is still bound to draw plenty of other teams to the area. Nathan Nebs, one part of the POI, Shaco's Tilio on a separate direction, and
Oh.
Takata, you have to bear in mind with Shaco's and Tilio kind of just stalking out this porta potty. One misstep is all it takes for an immediate collapse. I like the intentions here. It seems like they are really fishing for an elimination or two, but it might not come so easy to them.
What I love about major finals lobbies is you have a lot of time to study what your opponents have been doing throughout the season in your surrounding areas. If you see common rotates they tend to take at certain zones, you can try and prepare yourself for that.
Twice
Sometimes
early
it'll work
game
out,
always so
sometimes it
like
won't.
boring.
But for Shakos and Co, they're just going to play the waiting game.
They might be waiting a little
Like,
bit
come
longer
on, man!
than
I want to
intended
see
here,
people
though, Takata.
fighting.
No one's even nearby the other porta potty they can make use of, so
What a weird way.
Reason,
Yeah, well,
also
yeah.
just taking their
Welcome
time.
to Grants, where everyone
Nico
is trying to
and
make it till
Malabuka.
endgame, and then it's gonna be
Now,
a
I know
shit
that
show.
that's kinda touched
Like
on
early
it,
and mid is just
where
survive,
they've had so
basically.
many instances
Survive,
where
loot
they've
up,
come
get mats,
so
get
close
shields.
to solidifying themselves as just like the outright best team, and then just fallen short here.
And
Takata.
be
But
weird.
now, leading into this Grand Finals performance, they know that it's more than just that placement to the Major One Summit land that they've got riding on this. It's also a lot to do with their pride.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that too,
we
Agent.
talk
Like, money is a
about the kinda new
big thing.
era in EU with a lot of the legends.
Okay, there we
coming
go.
through, but I'm going to pause on that thought as Storm Demas seem to have got themselves into a quick engagement in Storm.
This is not the sort of stuff that
Hey, you good guy. Hey,
be dealing with.
gotta be your first time at some point.
Finals, they were certainly getting the better end of this sort of engagement, but at least for right now, both of these teams kind of just holding each other at bay. Demon Storm, though, seemingly got exactly what they were after. Might have been just to try and confirm a little bit of surge damage, but this is a much different venue than what we were anticipating for them to be dropping.
Interesting.
That it is. I know Levin touched on this as well. Now Cammy leading the pack here on EU with finals appearances, with a lot of our legends not having made it to this major final. The thing is, the expectations in terms of placement are not quite there yet for Cammy and Hari.
Which
Some
one,
excited to see if
Agent?
They can prove themselves throughout the
That
day.
half the like half water POI thing.
Might be looking to make a little bit of a more sneaky approach against Skyjump and Momsy. The way that they're kind of scaling up that mountain face. Scroll and Sky also got much calmer views. Sky mostly
Where
just
did
taking
they
over
land?
the efforts of keeping tabs on their surge damage, kind of scouting out the perimeter.
There.
But there is
Oh,
not
yeah.
a singular soul in
But to
sight.
be fair,
So they
there
know
is a
they've just gotta
bunch of
start making
like
their moves, but plenty of
um
heals to spend some time inside of Storm if they need to. Rocky stuff though.
like just random chests
couple
like
of other
every here
teams,
now. Like
Lusha, Howley, a
you
little
got
bit more
that big
split than
building
what
in the
they would
middle
like to
too.
be. And this is a big debut, I would say, for Lusha.
They're playing
especially
weird.
Just trying to make up for some of the
Oh hell
things
no!
that
Are you
went
shitting
down
me?
inside of Heats.
Don't have to comment on it yet. Now, if it happens again, well,
Spawn
we'll see,
chests.
but, you know, let's hope the
Thank
nerves-
you.
you know, got out in heats. We're now in major finals.
Oh yeah, that is
Prep has been done.
horrible.
It's time to lock in. Lucy Zangi close by. There's a lot of teams that are kind of contesting.
Yeah, there is more than like
around
5
Sky
though.
and Scroll drop at Battle
Like,
Boulevard, so they
hold on.
rotated towards
There is
Southern
more than
Studios
5,
Ooh.
now. Oh,
but still, like
but,
that's not a lot.
That's a big explanation for why Lusha's taken this sweet time, though. Mira and Josh bot.
I know,
That
Goof.
looming surge base
Send me
makes total
pics, dude.
sense why
Like,
he's just
come on.
prioritizing staying tucked away inside the building. They will have to expend some materials while Nero and Josh bot take some shots, try and build up their surge. Medius and iDrop, though, another one of our teams, uncontested, at least for this opening lobby. And over by Latte Landing, with the zone pulling a little bit more towards
Okay,
this
we're
north
good.
side. Takata, you have
They landed somewhere else?
going to be some teams
Where were they then? Because that's what
trying to maybe
the
cut
drop
through
map
from those
says.
elevation points. iDrop Medius, it's a real opportunity to get some tags in.
they qualified through a VR in heats. I'm very curious now, just once we reach that kind of surge segment of the match, on just how things are looking in general.
Yeah, fair.
HD focus. We've seen the jokes online. I mean, they're not really jokes, to be honest. The second place player himself, he's gone in top 3 over 10 times. Second place 5 times. Second place at a global championship. He just cannot find the win. And Taco, I
Yo,
think,
what's good, bro?
you think
Welcome in.
this might be the tournament?
The main thing to focus on is just taking each game in stride. But what I noticed there, Takata, is the mythic pump. There's about a 33% opportunity for them at Riptides to be able to get a mythic
Hold on, son, what do you
in
mean?
their hands. And knowing that
Below
Focus is going to be
docks.
the one rocking it, the type of respect that Thomas
Huh?
HD has to have for his co-pilot,
Yeah.
it just
Dude, you
really
are
indicates
confusing
how
me.
strongly Thomas considers Focus's fragging capabilities, and it's not surprising to see them taking their sweet time over at Riptides either. They love sitting on those vending machines. They can play out those
I
white
mean,
heels very
it could be
effectively,
some,
and
like,
they
every,
really
I'm
build
sure there's a bunch of
patience
people doing,
to
like,
try
watch
and
parties
make
and
it a break
stuff.
from dead side of zone. But
Of course I
other
remember you,
teams
bro.
Not really provided that luxury. Teeny and Shark, they're really just looking for that wonky wheel rotation, but Sayas and Sketty, Spaniards, getting a little dicey over by New Sanctuary.
Quite far from zone though, so you can see they don't really want to take this engagement. Loot isn't looking too hot either, to be fair. Kind of curious what happened leading up to this.
I got decent mats
In terms
though.
of damage though, looks like both teams actually are looking quite healthy at the moment if they don't tag each other during this rotate.
Still, time that's spent inside of the storm just allows other teams to rotate ahead of you.
Why are we
Not only that,
griefing again?
boxed up in positions where they could look to try and cut you off. We know just how volatile Surge can be, especially in a set lobby format, but when you
Damn,
compare
bro.
a Heat's final set lobby to the
No, you good, bro. I'm not playing
it's a
either. We're just
whole
doing like a little
different
watch
ballpark.
party. Just gonna watch
Teams
some
like Demon
Fortnite.
Storm that have sort of been working their way around the ringer, they know exactly what they've got to do, but it's one thing to know, it's another thing to manifest it.
Yeah. I think I now see what you
this-
mean. Just
she-
like, just because they were
talked
like
about
on
them
top of
earlier.
Teeny.
Now,
Yeah,
Yanis,
I know what you mean.
looking to see if you can represent Germany in Dusseldorf.
And that
In the
is
Qual Major 3 in 2024
yikes.
Globals. but he did qual every Div Cup last season. Issue was he was always in that middle end of the leaderboard. I think he got like 9th once. This season didn't qual Div Cups, but Heat's performance was there. We're now in the major finals. The experience is there. So let's see if they've put in the practice.
Well, we've got a little bit of a check-in with where Huddy and Fishy actually wound up after Wonky Land. Only had Sharkatini there. Yapko Panzer, though, getting a little aggressive here now. They are 297 above, but it's because of Fishy and Huddy's desperation. Yapko Panzer likely recognizing it. This is a team that is very much hurting with the way that they were trying to just immediately pounce inside of their box, and they are doing a great job at just keeping them shut out. But Panzer just overextends and gets trapped. Yapko now left to try and sort things out himself. He'll be able to at least grab Panzer's body, bring him back to a safety net. But for Huddy and Fishy, it's gonna be a clean exchange here. 1 for 1. They are just barely above the damage threshold, so solid effort by Panzer to still come out of something with that. But it's just the fact that it even became such a huge 50-50 in the first place.
Yeah, it is not what you want, especially with Net Surge. You have to be careful on those risky plays, especially when you get up close and personal, but Huddy almost getting knocked, all his shield taken away as now they continue with their rotate.
Akira knocked. Interesting.
Tough scenes for Akira off in the distance. Saw him
Oh my
knocked,
god, the flopper
whether
is
or
still
not
alive.
Karama is going to be able to revive him. We'll have to find out later on. But F9, Moneymaker, they were very much able to kind of prove to everyone that had taken them as being able to win a lobby in their heats. Now they want to prove that it wasn't just the heats level that they were capable of making that happen, right? 250 above right now for their surge threshold. And they've got a great spot currently because they're just looking to try and push people back from the outskirts. But all these teams, you know, that kind of spend a little bit more time inside a storm for whatever reason, XZ, Chris Buka, they are hurting right now. Takata, they got Surge taken away at them. They've got the lobby focusing in on them, and they got Haijo and Keto closing in, looking for the secondary half of this duo. They've already got one elimination.
You gonna
now
leave?
they'll take the other.
You're good, bro.
Haijo and
Have a good
Keto
day.
might even be able to find a little bit more, but we've got more action taking place
Did he
here.
get a kill?
Teeny Shark repairs
Heck yeah.
in their sights, just an immediate collapse. That is
Damn, bro.
tough
Holy
scenario
aim.
there for sure forward to deal with.
Repairs did not last long, as Darm and Beamish now also getting picked by Surge. I mean, this was a duo that went in 2024 from
Only
0
11
FPTS
above.
finals, 23k earned.
I
From
expected more of
2025,
these
getting third
two.
in Major 2, 6th on a global stage, and over $200,000 in earnings, literally from 23k to over 200k combined for this duo. They rose up very quickly, and now once again a chance to prove themselves in a major finals lobby, but being just right above that threshold, it's going to be difficult for this first match.
More importantly still, I'm only seeing one Flowberry Mist Grenade right now in Darm's loadout, so that's going to be their priority for shield recovery. But not only that, the mobility just looked like it was lacking. They're going to have a tough time on these next couple of rotations if they can't convert an elimination soon enough here. Belusi and Zangy, though, boxed up.
Alright, we're getting into endgame. It's gonna be interesting. Ammo suppressing, yeah.
One by one. Shots are very hard to avoid, especially from teams like Sky and Skrull. They are just applying so much pressure. The gold pistol as well in Skrull's hands. It just feels unfair.
It really does. Average placement of 4 in the Div Cups. I mean, they can play together well. They can play as solos incredibly well. And they're looking strong to kick this off.
There are a lot of teams right now, though, just kind of suffering from
Okay,
surge takes.
Cammy kinda chilling.
Cammy and Hadi are not going to be one of them, though. Instead, they'll join the rest of the lobby, just looking to kind of focus out some of these teams that are very clearly in
Damn, bro.
questionable positions.
Poor kid.
And it's difficult to tell because there are just so many shots being sent one direction, but Cammy, Hadi, they'll take their chance to strike. They're going to be some of the first to move into that next.
Okay, Malibu's still alive, good.
They've got to make sure that they avoid a lot of the local foot traffic surrounding them. And I like these look backs in. Sky Skrull just making it look too easy.
Literally, it's like, oh, just look back, shoot. I
Yo,
could do that.
what's
In
good,
a major
Cam?
finals, understanding how difficult it actually is to position yourself in a good place.
I freaking love your name, by the way, Cam. Like,
during the
holy
rotates,
W's.
the shields, the
That
max,
shit is
conserving all of this
amazing.
while still getting enough damage for Surge. They're currently showing a flawless performance, but for Marius, he's lost his teammate, forced to play it out as a solo. Luckily enough, though, 85 above Surge, still has a good.
Oh,
amount of
yeah,
APs.
yeah.
Hopefully, Marius can rack up some points here.
If there's ever someone to not count out just yet, it's always going to be Medius, though. Takada, especially drawing back to that Heat's performance where he solo clutched and went absolutely ballistic. So even with that rough start, not having iDrop by his side, Medius very likely to still be able to try and convert some placement points here, if not knowing every elimination is worth 4 apiece. That is drawing a lot of desire here, but Flixie and Chap had a tough time keeping their surge above, and Flixie, unfortunately,
What the
just
fuck?
1 second too long. The edit open, a player to ride
Who
by
is
finish, and
this?
So unbecoming, I would say, for Chap and Flixie to be in that
Unknown
kind of
team
spot.
on high. That is interesting.
They would
Of course, my
definitely
foot
try
is
and
like-
resolve that block too, but fact of the matter is damage has been done. Sky and Scroll, though, they're just looking to continue harassing benign moneymaker Belusi, Zangi. No one is safe right now as long as they're in Sky and Scroll's line of sight.
They've not taken a single risk, too. I mean, they're just taking shots from afar. It's all prime positioning. Zhu and Contri, too. Oh, hold on. They actually had the zone right by their drop spot, so they're able to double ramp all the way up. Marius still solo clutching it. Teeny now lost a bit of HP as Sky Scroll are going to play full low here.
The main thing is Medius has enough materials to actually make it across to where the zone is pooling for that elevation point on that cliff face. No one has seemingly spotted out this solo just yet in the mid layers. Hasn't been forced down by height. Setting up for Kriya, just trying to make his way forward now. Just trying to make sure that he's staying on pace with front side of zone. Jude and Cantry also trying to make sure that they can prevent anybody from challenging them just yet, but it is a big commitment very early on in Malabuka, Sky, Scroll, so many strong contenders looking to try and make their way up, and Marius has fallen, but he at least was
Okay.
able to collect 2 eliminations along the way. Still some points to
Nah, for real, yeah. Like, holy shit.
a lot of work cut out for them. The moment they look back, they see players hawking them down.
Caught off guard, they're put into a bit of panic here. They're gonna have to look for a refresh, but if any team is capable of playing aggressive and picking it up, it is gonna be Shark and TD, Vika Malabuka. On the other hand, showing their experience as well as Chino. Pablo, was that a high ground retake? Potentially, June now drops to just a sliver of HP, and the knock comes through from Chino.
We've got our first takeover in terms of the high ground debate, but Pablo, Gino, definitely a little bit hurt right now. Only 2 builds right now.
All right.
Bluff Sheep cracks. They're going to look to strike now. It's going to be a force down. Gino immediately dropping layers, trying to see if he can reconnect with his duo Pablo, but he won't get the chance. Taken out by the lobby. Cammy, Hottie, they go for height now. They've sent it. Cammy, last man left standing.
Who's gonna
for the
win
time
Grants?
being.
I
Bluff
don't
Sheep
know,
has
Cam.
eliminated that little bit of
Like, I will
material.
be honest, I have not
Now
paid too
Pablo
much
can't make it
attention
back
to,
in.
like,
Storm
who's doing good and who
clearing them out.
isn't.
Cammy forced to drop all the way to ultimate low because of where the zone is pooling, but he's tarping straight back up towards the high ground. Cringe.
Sky and Scroll look to be
Left
dead.
scattered.
No,
These
Scroll's still alive, my
lower
bad.
layers here, Takada, but Cammy, he's gonna keep building up.
This is not what we're used to seeing. Cammy not only on the high ground.
Oh my.
but the solo still clutching it out. He's out of mats though, forced to drop down.
Cammy
into the
dead.
Gets taken out, and it's all up to Cringe
Shark
and Volko
dead.
on height to finish this match off.
But people are forgetting about Scroll here in the underbelly. Volko and Cringe, a healthy
Double
duo,
use.
being able to connect with our very first victory royale here in game 1. For a moment, it looked like Cammy might just get it done, but the one healthy duo left over in the lobby, they were the ones that knew that they had height so confidently here. A great display to start things off. But Vicky, what do you guys
See,
have
Cam,
say?
to make it, you know,
So
less
many
confusing,
incredible solo names
there's
in the
two
lobby there, but it
cringes
took
on EU.
2 to get it done, Miniminer.
Yeah, really, really nicely done from those guys. The way they
Like-
took height there, perfect timing. timing on that. They saw Cammy was a solo up there on height. Perfect opportunity for them to take it and then riding out the end game. I've
He
been a
died
big
from
Volko
cringe.
sort of
Crazy.
stan, I suppose, over the years.
So like,
Yeah, I know
first place
you-
is a cringe,
you guys were
and then
gonna say,
third
but,
place is a cringe
yeah,
too.
I've sort of been excited to see his rise.
To
Didn't really
make
have
it
him in trios last year.
less
Looking good in
confusing.
duos, hasn't really seen too much from him. Hopefully this is a sign of more to come.
Definitely. It'll
Like,
be interesting to
frickin'
see if these
W's.
guys can sustain in the lobby, because actually we had a number of players definitely putting their best foot forward there. Some players who sometimes take a few more games to get into it. But for Cringe and Volko, I think top 20 is definitely a certainty for these guys, Levin, even though it's only game 1.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? You know, you don't want to count your eggs before the what's the saying?
Count your chickens before they hatch.
There you go.
I'm forgetting we've got more than 5 games, Levin. That's what it is.
We got a lot of games, but look, these guys are definitely a team in the running to get top 20.
I can
Because,
check,
one,
yeah.
They have been incredibly impressive, right? They've been one of the stronger teams. I think, you know, a lot of people probably have them in that sort of top 10 sort of area.
Hold on,
right,
Goof,
as
I'm
far as
checking.
What these guys have shown they can do so far this season, and this is a great start to prove it.
What
not
do you
just
mean,
to the
Cam?
fans, but to prove it to themselves.
And they're also a consistent
Where
team.
or huh?
Yeah, they are, and I expect to see, considering their drop spot as well, right in the center of the map, looks like they're uncontested. Not quite sure what happened off spawn for those guys in that game, so I'm sure we'll get to see more of that as the tournament develops. But expect to see these guys in end games. It's just whether they'll be able to keep having those highs in terms of the wins.
Well, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking more about game 1.
It's not EU day, like. The NA is after this. Ish. Goof, Malibuca got 5th. Hold on, where did this flopper end up on? Where is he? 22nd, okay, not too horrible for him. Moneymaker Cam. That kid, yeah, I don't know. He's a flopper. Good. Yep. What, Yaya? The hell are you saying? I know it's from Wicked, yeah. I'm not that slow, but like, huh? Is that so, Cam? How I know, Goof? Because I don't live under a fucking rock.
Cringe Engine Volko took the first game of the FNCS Europe Major 1 finals, but we've still got 11 more to go. And consistency is king if you want to make the top 20 and the Major 1.
And why, Ducky? Because we're watching FNCS, bro.
It was an impressive performance by a number of big-name duos. If you look at the end game, we had so many solos, including Scroll of Sky and Scroll. And you wouldn't want to count him out, to be fair, in a 2v1, even if he couldn't pull it off this time.
Yeah, not at all. I think the biggest thing for these guys.
No, I don't watch shows. I have not watched it ever. Not planning on. I just know it's that.
Sort of a couple hours before Grands, and it was a false flag. Nothing happened. They were uncontested, right? So they got to play their game out. And many, as expected, when they do get to play their game out, they're gonna make it to endgame. So we're gonna see Scroll in that position more times this weekend. I can assure you that.
Yeah, back on the prediction now for them to.
Oh my goodness, Cam, is your ego up a little bit, buddy?
That was always a bit of a shaky moment for everyone to predict them, and I'm sure.
I don't watch shows, no.
But that's going to settle them now, I think. You know, realistically for them, of course, that would have been in the back of their mind, looking at the drop map. Are we going to be contested? Are we not going to be? Hopefully, it wouldn't have thrown them off too much. And clearly, based on this first game, it seems like it hasn't done. They play exactly how we expect them to play. Very hit to hit, not taking any risky peaks. They played exactly how we expected them to in terms of the tarps as well. Sky going forward and Scroll fragging out. So really nice solo clutch here from Scroll. Of course, couldn't quite get the win, with a top 3 right there, but still a very, very solid performance from them. And it's a really nice start because we expect lots from them. If it was a team that we thought, yeah, maybe they're contested, they're like to make 1 or 2 end games, you think, okay, but this is not going to continue. For them, expect more of the same.
You're talking about yourself, Guillaume.
Did Pablo and Chino play a bit too safe, Miniminer? Because they both made it to the end game, but they're sitting in 9th right now, only 3 eliminations.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it was nice to see them in the end game, of course. We spoke about them at the beginning of the day as maybe a team to watch out for, maybe not necessarily going to have that consistency. We haven't seen it from them so far in their performances this season, but this is a real nice sign of hopefully for what's to come for them, Levin. We spoke about it as well. The talent that's on display, the solo clutch potential. We saw Pablo need to solo clutch a little bit here. Hopefully they can continue to do this.
Yeah, I think the big thing for these guys was obviously they went to play for high, right? That was what they saw as their win condition. And it just got a bit too messy for them, right? They sort of ran out of steam as the games go on. I'm curious to see, again, how heavily do they choose to play for high? I think we know that if they go up for it, they're going to be a threat. I also think a lot of people watching these guys will go, if you guys just keep playing mid-game, you're probably going to frag out and be able to sort of keep yourself pushing until top 5s that way as well. So I'm interested to see.
Are you okay though, Ducky?
Is their route to victory in most of these end games of the next 11 games?
You know what I really enjoyed? I love seeing stress-free surge for Vico and Malabuka 11. It was just lovely to watch.
Yeah, Vico and Malabuka, again, a strong first game from a big name that has a lot of expectations. I'm interested to see how much more this continues. Of course, we've seen, you know, Malabuka in the past have really incredible day ones in FNCS finals. And
that is wild, though, good.
Was a fine sort of showing for them again, showcasing some of their best abilities. When these two are on mid-ground layers like this, and they have to.
Damn, he's in 5th. Like it's first game gone. Come on.
Fortnite, right? Malabuka has been, you know, the boogeyman of mid-ground for years.
What's wrong with?
Vico, one of the best to ever do it. So these guys, if we see them in more of these positions, Frankie, yeah, I'm gonna feel great about them, you know, being a team sort of near the top by the end of the game as well.
No, I'm sorry,
We
Ducky.
spoke about at the beginning of the day as well. These guys are very risk-taking. They maybe make some mistakes, but I think that's going to play into their benefit and into their favor here in the major finals. Some of those teams that are maybe newer that we expect to do well, maybe they'll hold back a little bit. They wouldn't make those same plays they're going to make in those heats. Whereas for these guys, they've been here, they've done that. They know what they can do. They know how they can maybe make some of those plays work. And maybe they go a little
Damn,
bit
is your ego up a little
but at
bit?
least they have the confidence to take those risks.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard again if we can. I'm curious to see where Cammy, I should say, managed to clutch himself to. I nearly called him Clutchy then, because this was fantastic from him. I don't know if he's the person we expected to see in those final moments there, but it was an impressive showing, Levin.
Why are we? Look, this is what I was talking about. Why are we?
Hey, not broken is good though, Ducky.
You know, Cammy, we're talking about. Mr. Kaminsky does not disappoint when it comes to grand finals, and I think even when you look back at, you know, previous FNCSs and duos for him, with how legendary his career has been, one of the funny things is he actually has never won an FNCS duo competition, right? When he won an FNCS, it was trios, but he's had some of the better individual duos performances in the history of this game. I think back to, you know, chapter 5 it was, right? Season 2, where he just absolutely flew, was arguably the MVP of that grand. And if he keeps playing like how he did in game 1, he might have another tournament where we're walking away saying he's the MVP. So a really great start from Cammy.
Is it because we don't necessarily think of Cammy as a clutch? We always think of him as one of a pair, Mini Miner.
Yeah, potentially. I think, you know, he's one of those players that maybe isn't the most flashy in terms of mechanically, but he's got the brains, he's got that ability, he's got that experience now as well. And even in that particular
Aren't they in
game,
them?
I think
No.
this could have ended a little bit better for him if that Harpoon managed to get some of those materials. He was up on height as a solo, but ultimately ran out of steam. You saw him there with a Harpoon trying to look into the storm to grab those materials slightly too far away. So I'm just thinking maybe that refresh, if that had a couple of 100 mats on there, maybe we'd be talking about a Cammy solo clutch win here in game number 1 if things were slightly different.
We also saw Shark trying to clutch for the win Mini.
Yes, we did. And, you know, it's nice to see these guys, of course, making it to endgame. I think a lot of the conversation 11 would have been about these guys off-spawn situation. Looked as though they did go for that fight a little bit earlier on. Things then fizzled out a little bit, and we even saw Dharma Dimash in the area as well. But in endgame, this is exactly what we're expecting there.
Yeah,
W
absolutely.
agent.
And I think this
W
game
nerd.
should be the answer to why a lot of people, even with them being contested, are still so incredibly high on their chances to, you know, walk away with a top 5 today. Because when they do get to play our games, this is what they showcase, right? They make it deep, and they're gonna get a limbs, right? 9 limbs there, not too shabby.
All right then, are you ready for some more, boys?
Always.
Voice.
Always,
Hey,
a bit more
James.
enthusiastic, please. I bet chat is loving it right now. You two, I think you're a bit subdued, but it is only game number 2, so let's head back to Taco and Takata.
Thank you. We're also excited here in the casting booth. Taco. kicking
Of
things
course
off,
you are,
it is
Cam.
getting
I wanna
interesting.
see y'all
Shark
1v1
Phoenix
then.
Reminding me not when the 6-0 happened, but in the most recent Div Cups where they took some fights in Wonky. Sometimes it went their way, sometimes it didn't. But in the end games, it was Shark and Teeny that were performing. Sky Scroll in the most recent match, there was a moment they were looking incredibly healthy on goal. They did not want anything to do with the high ground, but they ended up in top 3. A lot of big names performing.
Always appreciate a good old-fashioned cringe off. It's kind of hilarious to me that it'd be cringe and Volko, and then
Of
obviously
course,
the other
Ducky.
component of Cringe and Twy competing for those last couple of slots. But now we've got a whole new lobby ahead of us, so let's get into it.
I need to grab my drink though. Hold on. Give me a sec.
We'll see how the spawn goes any differently here. I mean, Levin mentioned it earlier as well. We have seen historically teams perform well while conned. Queasy, Swizzy, Mustache getting 4th. It is possible, but it's definitely much more difficult.
And for Panzer Yapko over by Painted Palms, they know that they've got their work
Okay.
cut out for them. They are going to be
W Ducky.
by Lunix and Wolvax, who haven't had a chance to strike just yet. Both teams going to be able to get themselves into decent positions. I would
Yo, what's good,
anticipate
bro?
for
Welcome
the
in.
fight, but we'll have to check back in and see how it actually pans out over there. Swizzy, on the other hand, no Pixie in sight. Dark Dominion proving to be a little bit more problematic. And this has kind of been a reoccurring theme with this mid-map position.
Okay.
A lot of people would think Swizzy, Pixie.
That's enough drink for right now, Ducky.
But it feels like there's
Holy shit.
that decides to spoil the fun here. And Swizzy, he's just trying to survive. He'll opt to try and take the tunnel getaway, but that's just going to leave Truly and Gonzo now in full control of Dark Dominion.
The worst part is when this happens and you get that surprise con.
21
and you end up
hours,
losing
Ducky
that
W's,
first
bro.
map, surprise con.
Didn't you hit 20 like
No,
yesterday?
without no reason. The back-to-back early game.
Okay, 2-0.
Yeah,
You
2-0.
like to see it.
It's what you love to see. The OG's back in business. Going back to Dark Dominion though, like what I was saying is when you have someone surprise con, if it doesn't go well from them in the first matches, it's likely they might go away. But when they win the first match, they win the second off spawn, it's not looking great for Swizzy and Pixie.
And just look at like the cascading effect it's had too, right? You're seeing other teams now choosing to kind of stroll on over. Hey, Dark Dominion, no Swizzy, no Pixie. Pixie having some issues there, so hey, why not throw our names into the hat too? So it's not all clearly cut out for Truly and Gonzo, but at the very least, teams elsewhere always just trying to be very maintaining their surge damage. Swizzy now with a look opportunity here, tries to take out Moneymaker by himself, and he is successful. This is why Swizzy is so highly regarded on EU. He has just put himself into an excellent recovery position now and left benign to the Wolves.
Our only global champion, reigning global champion, making it to the finals this season. You can see the axe there and everything. So hopefully Swizzy can clutch it up, but coming back in major final lobbies is a whole other ball game. Marius had a good clutch in the last match, but hopefully this time around it can be a full duo playing it out. He's currently 16th with 30 points, so wasn't great, but you know, good enough to hold on. You know, I had Levin earlier talking kind of about estimates, especially for the top 20. It was 5 end games. Being a good end game was top 5 with 4 elims on average, or 250 to 300 points after these days conclude. So, I mean, so far, decent start.
Holy nerd, yeah.
But they've got to be very careful because Media's iDrop likely have no idea that Yapko Panzer are guarding that rare chest, waiting for the perfect
Not the wine
jump scare
watch.
setup for whoever might be first to stroll into that building. Wouldn't be surprised to see us revisit Latte Landing very shortly. Battlewood Boulevard, Sky Scroll. It was originally believed that they were possibly going to be contested at the start, but it doesn't appear as though
W
Jump Squad have really
Ducky.
been able to actually work their way into this position. Sky Scroll, they're just gonna opt for a good old-fashioned Surge Tower. But when you go this high up, Takata, other teams in the area, it is going to naturally alter the flow of the lobby.
That it is, and some of the duos that might have had surge problems in the last match might be playing a little bit more active this time around. Arco Kire opting for the surge base. Either drop here. Will they actually be able to find connections? Issue is with these 2-day tournaments is, especially after the end of day 1, your opponents kind of learn a lot of your habits and will try and mitigate those tag opportunities for you, or even loot opportunities. Marius iDrop though, looks like they want to get a bit aggressive.
It's not only that, I think iDrop was unfortunately on the receiving end, considering how low his HP just was. And the fact that they had
Well,
to
then, yeah,
expand one of their
1%,
Quiver Miss
huh?
grenades just to bring him back up to a healthy contention point. But Medius, iDrop, job's not done. Yapko Panzer on the ropes right now. Panzer incredibly low. Don't know if he's got any white heals to be able to sort himself out, and sure enough, will begin to recuperate some of his HP, but now, without having found a clean knock or elimination there, hopefully they were able to build some surge, but the way that net surge counts up, Takata, wouldn't be surprised if it ended up ultimately kind of working against them, because that's a big time to invest and not really net a huge elimination there.
That it is. In terms of Cringe and Volko here, this drop spot is surrounded by quite a lot of contested duos, so building up extra high, hopefully they can find some options.
Ari and Cammy now on their rotate through Dark Dominion. You already see a lot of these pre-existing builds, and they are fully aware of the fact that Nagi's got himself kind of sorted up in a bit of a search tower off the side of the building, but whether or not they actually choose to challenge it, we'll have to wait and see. Sky taking some shots over by Cringe. But they've got to sort what's going on directly underneath them. Seems like Yorko and Kire want to try and take out Twy and Cringe early on, forcing this fight. They are not allowing
that's
Twy
good,
and
though,
Cringe a whole lot of
W's.
wiggle room here, and it doesn't help knowing that there's third parties kind of witnessing, hey, if these guys are building up in wood right now, they've got to be a little bit worse for wear, and that's certainly the case for Twy right now. Doesn't have a whole lot of material left to work with. So whether or not they wanted this
I
fight,
think it might be in Fortnite as well, Ducky. I don't know.
backing through.
I'm watching it on Twitch though.
Going back over closer to Wonky, darn Dimish now. I'm wondering if Fishy's a solo here. It's looking like he is. And in the 2v1, Fishy will go down. They are looking rough in these early games. It seems that they keep trying to fight a little bit, losing HP, losing shield, kind of Shark Teeny, scaring them away from Wonky Land, and them just being put into shambles and it quite not going their way.
But the fact that Shark has one elimination, that tells me that there's a reason why Fishy was sent packing way west of the map towards Treetop Timber Mill. And for Darm Demish, they'll be more than happy with that elimination. I mean, always have to bear in mind 4 points each, but cringe.
What a tower.
Talk about a box up. This is certainly
On YouTube as
a
well?
sight to witness.
Didn't know that
Probably
one.
Gonzo in a separate little tower, but it is pales in comparison for sure.
It's funny because there's mountains by Cringe, and the teams based up on the mountains still aren't as high as Cringe is here.
Brother is cranking 90s, that's for sure. But Volko, cautious.
Holy
Might be having a maybe
tower.
recognize the fact that there's Malabuka, Vico, in the
Damn,
area.
bro.
Kind of exploring the tunnels for right now. Chat Flixie, on the other hand, dealing with Skyjup and Momsy. They do have splashes, they do have pizza, and they've also got the elevation hold. But it's obvious they're trying to conserve some of the materials here, Takata. For good reason. Panzer Yapko, though, after Latte landing on a little bit south for them, they've been forced to try and find that surge elsewhere. And Lunex seems to be their priority target. Wolvex having already been sorted out. 2 eliminations now. That's going to put Panzer and Yapko right back
W Ducky.
exactly where they need to be able to play out inside the storm for a little bit more of that dead side.
Nebs and Nathan actually started off quite strong. 6th place, 3 eliminations. Going well so far now. If they can just keep it up is the question. Good news for them. They're not contested. And the zone has been in their favor. First match, it did go kind of more southeast. That's why players like Chap Flixie had a bit of a struggle getting there. Speak of struggle, Minori.
Minori and Darkos kind of just reviewing whether or not they're going to be able to actually take this immediate fight. They know fully where that there is another team kind of surrounding their area over in Builder's Barracks, but they still want to take a little bit of a
Alright, who's gonna win, guys? Who's gonna win this
They
game?
know that they've got the positional advantage against Andipuzo and Werix. I
Trying to
like
get
the
money
intentions
up.
from
Let's
Minori.
go.
Looks like he's going for an absolute lurk approach. Might be able to catch them off guard
Freaking
from a separate angle.
floppers.
He managed to stay tucked away fully on that crouch approach, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not that actually nets them. A nice couple of eliminations. Focus Thomas, though, one more time.
I don't know,
here at
Ducky.
Sus
You
Studios,
can't
and it is evident
predict.
from their loadouts that they were successful yet again finding that mythic Iron Palm.
Very extended Puzo though. And a bit
You
of a
know?
pickle here.
What?
Minori, Darkos 118 below. They need these tags. Darkos has been fully cracked though. It's basically all up to Minori, and there's even a 3rd party with Moneymaker for 9, and there's even a 4th party as Moneymaker gets shot as well.
Oh
Not
my
only is it gonna be
griefing,
difficult to finish
bro.
up this fight, but getting to zone is going to be incredibly tough here.
But Minori, he's at least got to try and force the issue here. He doesn't have a whole lot of options. When you are this far below Surge, it's almost like ramming your head into the wall, essentially, but he's got to try and net something. F9 and Moneymaker on the other end of the spectrum, though, they've already got everything that they need. 564 above that Surge threshold. They don't have to force any sort of engagement here. They could choose to wait things out.
No way,
Werix will at
Ducky.
least take
Whoa.
advantage of the pizza slices that he does have nearby, but look at Minori. Just 2 separate solos trying to figure out whether or not they can survive this healthy third-party duo interrupting what they had going on here. But Minori, he's got the world against him. He's got Surge taking away at him.
Oh
He's got
shit.
Benign
Bro
and
is
just
dead.
continuously assaulting him. And they're not willing to let this one go. they're even gonna take over his pizza box.
Wow. That's
Nice.
the final
Straw that
step.
broke the camel's
The
back.
final straw, yeah, literally. How dare you steal a pizza? Werix having his own pizza party in the back, letting everybody fight each other. Cringe Twi started off incredibly strong today. Top of the leaderboard in third place right now, 76 points, but they've quickly been
Rip
put into
Cringe.
panic. 441 below. And you can see, despite them not getting tagged by Surge, things can change in literally one match for the top team.
It's also just so evident
hell
of
no, buddy.
how much
Hell
disruption
no.
it can be when you are forced into an early engagement that you were not anticipating. Cringe and Twi just got too locked up. They had to spend too much time to play recovery. And
Like, I'm
Twi,
sorry,
but
I'm
10 bandages is
okay-ish
just
at the
not going to
game.
cut it.
But these
Working your
people,
way
like,
into that next edge of zone. Now
nah,
when you are
I would just get
428
fucking
below the
shit on in
surge
half a
threshold,
second.
That is the main contributing factor to his downfall right now, but like that he's still just trying to withhold that trooper mentality,
Dude,
keep marching forward.
hell nah.
It's the least he can do. Feel like it's only delaying the inevitable now, though.
On the right side, though, Sharktini, they were below and quickly played aggressive to put themselves just 45 above edge of zone, so they do have a ways to go. Twi, as you can see, has a
He's so cooked.
much greater ways to go. Oh, be careful, though. Maybe some quick luck of the draw here. Oh.
We are in a
That
5
hit?
take to Kata.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice
I don't know what I'm
try.
hoping
No one
for
you
here.
can shoot at. There is no
Hey, Streamlabs was
possible way
third,
of
okay?
survival.
Leave him alone.
Okay, but I definitely respect the effort, the hustle mentality. Just keep marching forward. Sky Scroll though drew a little bit more attention
Welcome back, Kim.
than what they would have been hoping for. They're gonna choose to just kind of bunker up on the low ground though. Got a decent position, isolated away from the rest of the pack, and
Not
they're
bad.
gonna opt to continue to just keep wrapping around. They can recognize that there's teams a little bit more distracted, but Keto and Hydro might be exactly who they're after. Sureform Repair is applying a decent amount of pressure into the box. That's a sandwich dream right now. That's Guy and Scroll are looking to take a bite out of, but everywhere else, everyone else is always looking, trying to see.
Popcorn shop is open. Well, give me.
There's a lot of duos that didn't struggle for Surge in game 1, 2, and now they're struggling here. Look at Contri Ju too, still in the storm. A lot of players now forced to rotate in a little late. But we have players like Cammy, who's actually lost Hari. Just leading into this endgame, Akira Karama as well gonna go down. So much pressure put onto the whole lobby with this Storm Surge now active. Cammy's getting tags, but it's just not enough.
No, and this is just so unfortunate given where Cammy had just placed in the last lobby. But it is just such a journey right now. Cammy still holding on. One shot could be the difference maker here though, and Cammy, he'll look to take it. It's just not going to be enough though. A great response, just all too ready with the trigger finger. Shut that tree down.
Popcorn.
Cammy didn't have many other options there though. God, I wouldn't really.
Yeah.
Oh, we need
get
a
into it.
lot.
Focus and Thomas, on the other hand,
Yeah,
they're
and I
looking-
definitely do not
they
have
don't
enough
have much
snacks
better
for
position.
this
They
to
just
survive the
barely sliding
weekend.
into 25th in the last lobby. Chino, Pablo also working their way up. These little bits of elevation. Now they'll have the chance to look back, and they're going to need more Surge. They'd also like to have a conversion, a couple of eliminations, because their material count too a little bit lower than they would like it to be. At this point.
Holy energy dip.
Chaos now unfolding. Malapuka's gone down. You can see how many players are struggling to get damage. Vico left alone. He has the experience in these stacked lobbies. He knows how to play them. But despite that, you can still see the difficulty. And he's going to continue to overdrive his way in. We'll see what Scroll is up to in the meantime. Looking incredibly healthy. Consistency is the name of this team.
Popcorn.
If they've got gold pistols in their clutches, that
Yeah,
is
Moneymaker
just
is
daunting
dead,
sight for the
bro.
rest of the
There's
lobby,
no
because
way.
You know Sky and Scroll are always going to be in a prime position, not even just for the zones, but to also take advantage of teams that are struggling to just try and
Hello,
break into the
Granny.
zone. Vico, unfortunately, looking to be one of their next victims if he's not careful. 103 below on the surge threshold. He's gonna have to get active. He's got to do it right now. Doesn't take the shot at Nebs. Was just trying to get into the zone. Trying to make sure, but he's having to use all of his heals, all of his shield, just to try and leave himself in a somewhat healthy position. Fortunately, Surge will turn off for him. The lobby has thinned itself out down to that 40 player count, but looking back in at Sky and Scroll's successes, and they are just picking up everything that they could possibly desire. Great refreshes along the way.
Up in the clouds, though, check it out. Giannis cheating, looking strong. Issue is, this is one of the initial moving zones. We saw how chaotic it got in the last match. How many teams wanted a piece of height. As Moneymaker gets dropped down. In terms of materials, Pizza's loot. They're looking quite healthy for the meantime, but we'll see how long they can last.
This is cheating Giannis's backyard, though, Takada. We got this south pulling zone over by New Sanctuary, and done a great job trying to apply some pressure to these lower layers. Panzer just working his way through, but too many teams just stuck underneath with him. Pablo, Chino are going to be able to take Panzer out. Really steal that body loot, too. Doesn't even really seem like Pablo and Chino, they don't want to stick around for that much longer, though. They've got to make it into zone, and they do. But they know there's still a lot of ground to try and cover here. Front side position.
Thomas is
Help them out.
looking
Anytime you drop
healthy.
one of those
Just
Wolverine
shit
grades,
matched.
we're bound to draw the attention of high ground, so this is really up to Cheatin' and Giannis now to continue applying steady pressure, try and prevent some of these teams from challenging them. Thomas, Focus also lurking their way through, just waiting for a pre-edit setup.
Sky has gone down, though. Skrull is left alone. We know what both of these players are capable of playing as solos, so Skrull with already 4 eliminations is going to be hungry for more. Pablo as well, showing that he has that IGL fragging capability with already 5 eliminations, but Yan is cheating. They are still holding strong up top.
Doing a great job, that is, until Focus and Thomas decide to play spoiler alert. Drive by from overhead, off the floor, miss it over.
Holy W's, bro. 3 builds though. He is done
Thomas
for.
and Focus, though, they're gonna need a refresh. They don't have a whole lot of materials, but the damage has been done. They got exactly what they were after. The eagle eye view. Chino and Pablo underneath, though, ultimate low, still managing to stick towards this front side of zone. They found a couple of eliminations along the way. 8 in total is just wicked scenes right now, and they're not the only ones getting active. Holly and Lucia also have 9.
Yeah, Elim Central right now. Chino getting cracked, though. He's got to be careful. Howley gonna pop some minis. Thomas HD looking like this might be his season, but Howley goes down. Lusha forced to go into the storm, and now with just a sliver of HP, Focus is gonna drop down and start getting a bit of action.
But this is just aim trainer right now for Focus and Thomas HD. They are just picking the lobby off
Holy
one by one
fuck,
here.
bro.
Sai is not going to be able to withstand the pressure any longer. Scary also trying to do his best to avoid drawing any further attention to himself. Every placement counts at this stage.
It just sucks, bro, does not have
Very
mats.
clearly in Thomas's favor, but he doesn't have any builds. This could be 180 if they're not careful. You can see a little bit of reservation in their play. Pablo doesn't have builds either. Does Chino? We are looking at seeing who can just find the first shot here. And it's going to be Focus striking down.
Nice, they got some.
Thomas
Let's
HD
go.
with the finish.
W
A 2
Thomas,
for
bro.
nothing exchange here, and that is everything
W's.
for Thomas and Focus to bring this second game home.
Is this going to be the season? Is this the time? We've been waiting for it for so long. Can Thomas HD finally win a major? Frankie Levin Mini, what are we thinking?
It is game 2. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but at the same time, how good is it to see Thomas and Focus get a victory royale, Levin?
Freaking
it's
W's,
amazing.
bro.
It is amazing, and that right there, Mini, is a textbook game for them. I think when you look at how things shaped up in the game and in the lobby, as far as the zone was concerned, it was set up for them to do what they've been doing quite a bit. It's a layup, it's easy, it's straightforward, it's something they've done many times before. They were able to play in the storm quite a bit early on. They rotated in towards the boulevard area when the time was right. And again, you're able to just spend a lot of that mid game avoiding all of the troubles that the rest of the lobby has to experience, and it puts them in that end game in a situation where then it's just about delivering, right? When you give Focus and Thomas HD gold pumps and all the loot in the world, what are they gonna do? They're gonna win your games.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's one of those. They had height. They had a really good position on height as well. And I think that what you just mentioned right there was really key for that, because they had the resource, they had those materials. They still had 3 pizzas on Thomas, I think it was, when he went up on height. And I think it kind of like alleviates a lot of the problems that they've been having. A lot of their problems have been a little bit.
I don't know,
maybe
Ducky.
slight
Oh.
solo plays and having to clutch up. And
I
maybe a
don't know
little bit
what chat is
disconnection
showed that
between
today.
them. But when you're playing height, it's very easy to stay together as a duo and just focus on the same goal, and you're always
Hey.
down, aren't you, when you're on height?
We're
So
still
it's
here.
a lot more simple, I suppose you could say, to retain that duo chemistry that they have been lacking this season. But this game is really, really nice for them. They took height again at a really good time, as I mentioned right there. They still had a good amount of resources in terms of heals, and even the way that they closed out the game as well. A lot of teams would have been a little bit more nervous, maybe stayed up on height, maybe not gone down. But I really like the confidence from, I think it was Focus initially, just to drop down, take down one of the players down on low ground, because of course they didn't have anything to sustain themselves up on height right here. So really nice plays, and shows the confidence that this team have. It's just about whether they can continue that throughout the rest of the games.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. This is a team who, again, their fans are going to be happy.
What the fuck,
Thomas,
Agent?
I think is very excited about the prospect of this.
Poor kid,
being
man.
finally the one, you know, the FNCS is able to deliver on. And again, if they can keep playing like that, there's no reason why it won't be.
Consistency means qualification for the Major One Summit in Düsseldorf. We'll be talking about who's been putting up the big performances after the break.
What you missed while Thomas GT just won the game? Like, easy. What's good, Guillaume? Freaking troll. You okay, Ducky? Okay, what could we do to make your ADHD like calm down? Do we have any fun commands we could add to chat? I don't know. What should you do? I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's like fun. You have squishies, W's.
think that Thomas and Focus have been seeing what the community has been saying about them, and they're like, no, no more second places. We're going to take the second victory royale of the FNCS Europe Major 1 Finals, and we're going to keep going. The only way is literally up from here, because they did look magnificent on the high ground, but it's fantastically contested so far, as it always is when the best duos are competing against each other. And one of the duos that we're going to be
What kind of
talking a lot
squishes do you have,
about
Brad?
is obviously Sky and Scroll. And Sky, he's always got his teammate Scroll to rely on, Levin, because I feel like Scroll is probably going to make it as a clutch to at least to every single endgame we see here this weekend.
Yeah, look, both of them have it in them. And so, again, I highlighted that at the start because I think it's a very underrated part of what makes these guys successful. And it doesn't sort of maybe get highlighted as much because we're always talking about how in sync they are. But in this game, you know, when they did show us these moments, I remember the casters got very excited about that elimination right there, right? Because it was just a great showcase of what happens when both of these guys, you know, sort of come knocking at your door at the same time. Sky goes down and Scroll's able to sort of get a couple more points out of the game, and ultimately, you know, you can't really ask for anything more, minute.
Trying to
Yeah, this
see.
is smart as well. They were playing in the Storm. I think it was maybe slightly before this with their pizzas, just to try and ride out a few of those
Oh,
places.
come on.
He spent so
Oh,
long
Granny.
in the Storm, and I think ultimately that's where Sky went down. Good effort from Scroll though to try and stay alive in that game. Nicely done from them. Just keep them in that top 2 position. They're looking really, really good right there. Not quite as good of a game, of course, as we saw from them have in their very first game. It wasn't an amazing Scroll clutch, but they have it in them. A little bit of a blip right there. What was that? A 10th place with 4 limbs, so not quite their ideal endgame. I think they just couldn't pick up a lot of those refreshes in those endgames. You saw it right there. They picking up eliminations, but they were so high up, and there was no chance they could get those materials. So maybe that's why they went and played the Storm there. But they're still in a really nice position.
And it's a great position for Shark and Teeny, given that we didn't see much of them in the end.
Oh my God, Goof.
Clutching so far in game number 1 has
Oh,
set them ahead
poor
of a lot of
good
their
Chi.
competitors, Mini Minor.
Yeah, it's a really good start for Shark and Teeny, of course, with that first game. They had a really nice start with that 4th place. This game, not quite as good, and this was obviously maybe a sign of things maybe to look out for this duo. This is a lot of people's concerns, and I know it was one of my concerns as well, as how are they going to make it out of their drop spot? In what shape were they going to make it out of their drop spot? And even though they're still 5th on the leaderboard, that wasn't a great performance for them. 27th with 5 eliminations. So even though the eliminations are high, the placements are not quite there. So that inconsistency,
Like
is
top
definitely not
10k
surprising.
agent? I don't know.
But we're seeing consistency, guys, from Pablo and Chino. They've gone up a whopping 8 places to pole position after that performance. 2 endgames now back to back, where we've both seen them putting up the numbers, even more numbers in that game, Levin.
63k
Yes,
is still
and
fucking
I am
good, bro.
Very,
Heck
very
yeah.
impressed by these guys. This actually here is sort of the game-winning sort of moment for them, or not winning because they didn't win, but a key game moment for these guys.
I
right?
know you do,
Because what happens is
Granny.
You see they're on low ground, zone pulls back, and it actually left them in a really bad situation, right? It pulled back against going up the hill, and they're in a position where they're on low ground, they're stuck underneath every team, and they go back out into the Storm, do an up and over rotation, and that leaves them up there. And they didn't have much mats at that point in the game they need to work with, but the key thing for this duo, and this will be key for a lot of the top teams, but even when you're not in a good situation, if you can just keep yourselves long enough in the game, when you're Pablo and Chino, you're gonna find a refresh, right? Make the rotation that keeps you in the game as long as possible. And this is what I talked about in game 1, right? Game 1, we saw them play for height, and I asked the question, is this gonna be the strategy they take moving forward? Are they gonna keep being a height team, or are they gonna actually make use of their talents on the mid and low ground, where if you just keep yourselves in the game long enough, you know these two will find a refresh that will carry them into a top 5 situation, and that's exactly what they did here in game 2.
Yeah, and I
It
think
was
that's going
really-
to bring
yeah.
them so much more confidence as well.
Oh,
I think we
hell
spoke
no,
so much
Griff,
about
don't
them
do
at the
that.
beginning of the day, not having
Don't
the
do
greatest
that.
performances leading into the
Hell
major
no.
finals. They've had glimpses of it, they've had moments, but they haven't had consistency. So now for them to have such a great start and to have all that firepower beside you, even when things don't go so well, they've got to be bringing with confidence right now.
And they are our reigning champions in terms of FNCS majors, guys, given that they
There
did
you
win
go,
way
Kim.
back in August. It feels like centuries ago now with Brodoxy. There must be something about being in a finals lobby that really boosts their confidence. I wonder if we can see the leaderboard actually one more time, because I'm just really curious to know where our other big duos are standing at the moment. Vico Malabuka, for example, that wasn't the best game for them last time round, so I'd love to see where they are on the
I
leaderboard.
don't know,
If
Ducky.
not,
Like,
we'll catch up with them
someone
in a bit.
like made this one like
I'm wondering with these
years
guys
ago,
if consistency
and
is
it
gonna be
honestly
an
just
issue from game to
stuck.
game, Mini Minor.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I'm just looking at the leaderboard right now. I'm at the monitor here. 15th with 22nd they got in that last game. So again, just going down in that early stages of the end game. We saw some good things from them, right? In that very first game, we saw some
Oh,
exciting
Granny.
moments, but that's when it pays off. When it doesn't
I need
pay off,
coffee.
that's
Make me
maybe what we're likely
coffee.
to see some of those sort of mid-game eliminations.
Yes, we can go fee.
Still early. I'm not panicking yet. Still early.
Okay, bit of favoritism, bit of bias towards Vico, maybe.
Not biased, it's just still too early, man. We've still got so many games left.
Fine, not panicking on his behalf, but
Oh,
I will.
oh, oh.
So let's head to our third game of today. 4 more games to go with Taco and Takata.
With Lobby 3 just around the corner for game day number 1 Takata, there is still ample opportunity for any kind of shortcomings that duos have experienced in these first 2 games to sort of be course
Ducky.
corrected in our next 4 matches.
No,
Yeah, we've had a
oh.
lot of mix-ups, a lot of teams that are starting off a bit rough. I'm thinking mainly of Swizzy and Pixie, but on the contrary, we have duos, like Chino and Pablo that back in trios, they were actually champions of Major 3, so now coming in as reigning champions. Chino Pablo playing as a duo, doing incredibly well. That last match was insane how many elims they were able to get and somehow clutch up that placement despite the tough zone pull. The good news is the battle bus is ready, so let's head on to the third match.
Alright, game 3, guys. Oh my goodness, Ducky, what do we
It's
do with
always
you?
so sick to see when that dominoes moment takes over, though, right? Chino Pablo, if they get one, they just start converting them into so many after the fact. They really found
I know,
their score
Granny.
state in that end game of lobby number 2, and that sort of momentum can really build throughout the course of a day. So at our halfway point, technically speaking, for game day number 1, the main takeaway that I've got so far, Takata, is that you can never expect any sort of guarantees. If you think that you're going to be contested, if you think you're not going to be contested, the lobbies are constantly shifting, and for no Aurelian reason, they're hoping to make it 3-0 sweep right now. Xtedi adapted to be able to escape momentarily. They've opted to just go for the deeper drop. They don't actually want to challenge Reason and Noah at the gas station, but that might mean Delio, a little bit of a wandering eye here, trying to gauge what's actually taking place and whether or not he could look to try and interrupt it.
I was alluding to earlier, Swizzy Pixie hasn't quite gone their way, but looks like there's no quick aggression. Sharktini.
You are not getting slime, hell no.
Wonky. It hasn't
Hell
been
no.
Clean sweep.
I am not having slime in this building. No.
Pretty fishy. It's been
No.
either they do a lot
Hell
of
no.
tags or maybe
Never.
they live one of them, and then they end up rotating out, and Darm Beamish kind of get a little free prize on the side.
I'm also not too pressed about Teeny and Shark. I know we didn't get to actually witness too much of what was taking place with them in that last lobby, but Teeny, we know what you are, okay, buddy. We saw the clips. The production might not have, caught you in 4K, but better not see any more of that user error with the wonky wheel today. Too strong.
Yes, I was talking to you about your slime.
Going outside like
What the
that.
heck, Granny?
Keto, Hyjo are also being another one of, I think, leading contenders to the action over by Dark Dominion. Gonzo and Truly.
I was
just
talking to
waiting
Bob,
with
yep.
the Trap, though. Swizzy not going to be taken out just yet, but it has left
Ay, ay, ay.
Swizzy and Pixie in a dire situation here. Now looking to try and see if they can bite back.
Yep,
it
and we
is
got a
1
moment for the
one
dogs.
so far, but now Keto, Hyjo, the door's been swung wide open for them to just play cleanup crew. Truly trying to see if he can escape with his life, but Keto, Hyjo, they don't want to let this opportunity go. 4 points on an elimination, but he will escape into the tunnel.
No, you cannot, Granny.
Dark Dominion was
Unfortunate
Heck no.
uncontested, Taco. Why is there 5 duos here? Why is the whole lobby?
This
group
happens
it up
every
and-
time, Takata. Every single
Dominion?
time. I think we saw maybe one Div Cup finals where Swizzy Pixie weren't surprise contested. This mid-map position just draws too much aggression. I think that's part of the reason why it could be difficult to kind of get a nice
I know,
rhythm
Goof,
build
I'm
up
so mean.
underneath in Neb's Humble
I
Hills.
know.
They're gonna have to try and defend their opening points here. Darm Deemish just continuing to go on tour around the map today.
Shout out Nathan Nebs, by the way, in the prior season. all they were getting were top 20s, and then right when this season started, 8th, 9th in the Div Cup. Now here in the major finals, top 3 on the leaderboard, looking incredibly strong as they also have the upper hand in this fight.
This is so awkward right now, though, for Darm and Deemish. It's going to be down exclusively to Darm, I feel like, to try and turn this one around. Deemish incredibly low and separated from his duo, but manages to work his way back together. So the Flubberate Mist Grenade will have some value, but Nathan and Ebs, they got a lot of surge out of that. I don't think that they ate as many big shots as what they were delivering. Now it seems like it's getting a little bit more scrappy, but Sharktini looking to just pick up right where they left off over by Wonky Land, northern side. It seems like Huddy and Fishy were maybe trying to have it be a little bit more of a clean split here by opting more towards the north side of this POI, but Sharkantini, they've been very vocal here, Takada. They are refusing to budge. They don't want to allow Huddy and Fishy the opportunity to even make it to the Major One Summit land, much less make it into a strong placement finish for Game 3.
Now you know the pressure is going to be on for Huddy and Fishy. They are not going to want to split this drop. Well, Shark and Teeny are not going to want to, as they're going to do everything they can, like you mentioned, Taco, to not have them get top 20 here. Now, despite Shark Teeny not having the greatest match for Game 2 of the 27th, they still held up.
Who wants snacks?
12 matches to be played out
Oh,
today,
snacks.
so it is all about that consistency. Once we
That's
get
good, bro. Welcome in.
the second day, but almost halfway through day 1 here,
The
and
fuck?
just gonna be some more shots back and forth.
Huddy and Fishy are landlocked right now, though. Inside that
Food.
by Wonky Land. Wouldn't be surprised to see further regression still, though. Squibbly continuing to build in action here. And Noah looking to get fragged.
Is that Judd? No.
Done a great job at least defending
It's
the
not.
opening contention by the gas station, but now clearing out the POI. That's a whole nother can of worms they've yet to open here in Game 3. Xteri adapted, really making them work for it too. Taking good use. Some of the fish that are already available to build up some of their shields here.
No, you're good, Goof. Don't be sorry.
Reason wants to go for the opening shot, but adapted, just causing a little bit of a slow burn.
The issue is, despite Noah Reason having clean sweeps in the first 2 matches, and I mean, they haven't won yet in Game 3, but they're clearly the aggressors here. They still just haven't been making it far enough in the end game. I mean, you saw they're 25th on the leaderboard. They went down 28th, 11th in the last one, so quite
Okay.
only 1 elimination. So despite the early games, they're gonna have to figure something out.
Dobby is ducky.
It's largely just because even when they get the clean sweep over at Squibbly, there's always another team or two that decides to roll on over. Teeny, Shark though. They want to get into this conversation. Huddy gonna be the first to fall, but Shark has been taken out with him. That's gonna be elimination for elimination now. Teeny though. I can see if he can clutch up. One of the best controller players on EU, but seems like he'd rather just opt for the reboot play. Doesn't want to keep trying to force this fight. After that early departure in the last lobby, finishing 27th place, you can just tell that Teeny sort of recognizes the fact this game's going to be a lot easier if he's got Shark with him, and beating Fishy to the reboot ban is only going to make that so much easier to carry on later.
Yeah, you know, Fishy's gonna be happy with the disengage. The thing is, how long is Shark and Teeny gonna pursue it now? Will they go right back into the action, or will they try
Oh, I bet Goof.
play it a little slower here?
Look back into where that went south here. That honestly, Fishy, you got it. That was a really nice turn away, but well played. Forced the stalemate.
I would have
Now
liked to
it's
see
what
Fishy
comes
even
next.
play more aggro there. I mean, I think he had the HP shield advantage.
Hello, ducky.
Teeny did not let down. We can actually see now it's going to be Twek and Midro who are applying the pressure after the reboot.
This comes as no surprise. First couple of lobbies, Twek and Midru had their plans kind of thrown all over the place, being contested by Darm and Beamish early on. So now they're trying to play a little bit of make up for lost time. Toy Box Docs, though, seemingly a little bit more in favor of Teeny and Shark right now, but if they can find these 2 eliminations, that would be a huge conversion for Shark and Teeny. It would definitely set them up nicely for an endgame kind of run, but Dweck and Midra, they need points. They also obviously wanted.
Yo, good.
some
Hold on.
surge.
Sorry, chat. Sorry.
To Soul, though, that they were able to get everything that they were after.
Het
Going
is
back over
kap.
to
Nee,
Focus
make a
and
screenshot
Thomas
of something.
HD now. This is an interesting one. There's a lot of hype going into this major for Focus and Thomas. One of the best POIs on contested. They're getting the loot every game. They're the type of team that will have a good strategy. But we just didn't really see a lot of them in heats. They won game 1.
We need to
Didn't
buy
have
a
chance to see
ticket.
a lot of them in heats. And in Div Cup,
What?
they were playing well, but not well enough to be a #1, maybe even #2 duo. But now predictions going into this, that's where a lot of people are placing them. And I mean, they're not disappointing. They did have a bit of a rough start though at the 25th, so I'm a little concerned regarding consistency after the 12 matches. But I mean, we're just getting
Are the
started.
tickets at
They're on
least
time.
free,
If nothing
Ducky?
changes up, consistency shouldn't be a problem.
I think the main thing for Thomas and Focus, though, is that we saw them consistently in those Div Cup finals. We saw them consistently in performance evaluation finals. And more often than not, they were
Hey,
still
that's not
able
free.
to find strong finishes. I mean, we know that they've won
Are you
multiple
scamming?
lobbies of those eval finals. We know that they even won a Div Cup final, so
Oh.
right now, they're looking to try and just win this battle.
Ducky
against Krax
scammer?
and Glupshy. They've already got one piece of the pie. Looking to see if they can take another slice here with Glupshy. That's just 4 more elimination points.
Hey, I don't need to buy
Thomas and
shit.
Focus are never going to scoff at. And they've got Glupshy on the run here. 2 different angles of approach, though. Focus just cleans it right up. That's going to be 8. And even though Lobby
Nah,
won,
that's
getting away
scamming.
that win in the last game, it
Ducky,
did
no
jump them up on the
scamming.
leaderboard to 4th place heading into this matchup. So
Oh,
I'll look back
oh.
now into where things went right for Focus. Just a great collapse out of these 2. Excellent job guarding those vending machines too.
I mean, there's a reason Thomas is dropping the mythic shotgun to Focus. My only issue was from the Div Cups.
They'll be Ducky
there was
though.
some kind of chemistry, synergy issues, but they have clearly been putting in the work. Putting in the
Nah,
practice.
some zones that were causing a lot of problems, and it wasn't just for them, Takata. It's one thing when you have to be a track star in a lobby, and when you have to be a track star for multiple games of a lobby, it's bound to
13?
cause problems for anyone.
What?
Also, they did get surprise contested in at least 2 of those Div Cup finals, if I'm calling correctly. So I
Yeah, a
think
lot
that
of-
they have proven their worth, though, and that they are very much competent contenders, because a lot of people, even though they might be sorting Thomas more so for that 2nd place of this weekend's finals, it's the fact that they still got him in the top 2.
Yeah.
Come on,
Pretty sure what happened
man.
was actually in the end game is where I was seeing those kind of flaws. But in the heats, that's why I wanted to see a bit more of the performance in the recent set lobby heats.
I'm
but
not paying
it won
Ducky.
too quickly. And now they're winning as well in the major finals, but no one. This might be exactly what they needed to actually solidify themselves a good loadout and set up going into the
Gilly
end
was
game.
supposed
Been
to be
going
awake
down
for
kinda in
this,
the
but bro
midsection of
is
the
like
match,
dead
despite winning
asleep.
the early game, but now with a good amount of damage and loot, this could be the match that they were looking for.
Oh my goodness, Ducky.
2-tick zone, though. It's going to be a good reason for Hustle. Got to look back, though, into where things went right there for Reason. Nice drop in. Exeed was not expecting company that quickly. Granted, they still got to actually make their way into the next zone. And even with those refreshes
paying, boy.
and the surge help there, Takata, it was obvious that Reason and Noah were definitely still in a little bit of a pinch. Other teams kind of looking in on where they were at and all that commotion had taken place.
Issue with having so many contested duos in the area. Yanis doing a great job though with a quick pickup. Our current leaders in terms of the lobby. Pablo Chino, how are they looking? 109 above. Look at the amount of
What do you
teams
want me
that
to
are
pay you
rotating.
in then, bud?
This is going to
Emojis?
get dangerous quickly, as Pablo's already been cracked.
They thought they were gonna get the chance to pounce right there. Instead,
Oh,
forced to come to
agent
yet
paid
another
for me.
vault, and that definitely puts a sour mood on their Surge. 36 above right now, but they are above. It's just they know now they're gonna have to go for a little bit more of a forced engagement as opposed to being able to kind of pick
Ay, ay,
what sort of
ay.
fight they wanted to enter into. I dropped the Medius.
Guess we
both
gotta
now.
go, you know, buy a
Mountain,
ticket
Chat,
for
Lixie,
my own
building
stream.
in metal, it's the quietest builds. Even with the Surge picking away at them, but Chap is just
Dude,
too
what even is it
aware.
called?
Immediately catches oversight. Mary is gonna be forced to send it onto height. They're working against the clock right now. iDrop even forced to drop his pizza early, but Flixie, Chap, you can see how much Surge they have. They know that this duo, they've got to be desperate.
Yeah, I can't find if I
Given that
search
they are
on
just
money.
Continuously trying to force this fight, but iDrop and
There you go.
Medius, again, they're so
Now give me my
low
take
on
it,
their
boy.
Surge. They have to get a conversion here, and it just keeps getting ticked further and further away from their direction. iDrop now getting ran down by Chap and Flixie, defending their original position here.
Ay, ay, ay.
iDrop, one more tick.
You
waiting
freaking
for-
troll.
Storm to close out his game. And yeah, that Surge, it was just too problematic to deal with.
This is huge for Chap and Flixie, not only because they just got a nice refresh and have over 1,000 Surge, but the first match, Zone was close to Sanctuary, literally other corner of
You
the
can
map.
make some coffee after
And
this
now
game.
Finally, they've got a very solid north zone pull.
W
They've got them.
Ducky.
Everything is going their way in this match, so I'm hoping to see a big one.
Getting a little bit of insight now into where some teams are able to pick up some good eliminations. Scary and Saya is still looking to see what else they can gather. They know there's been a little bit of a rumble taking place on the mountain face. Phoenix and Wolvex trying to go toe-to-toe with Azad and Ifrozi, but they won't be able to hold that one out still. Ifrozi and Azad just getting beamed right now by Scary and Ciaz. And they're not the only ones. Look at all the shots coming in for the rest of the lobby. That was a quick drive-by though. And Ciaz will be forced to drop box back up. They are under a lot of pressure though with the Surge takes.
See Sky and Scroll knock on Chap Flixie's door for Scary. Ciaz though, 25 below, just a couple shots needed to connect, and they aren't going to successfully do that. Issue is all the other players are doing the exact same thing. They're going to have to keep their lead here as Zone pulls further and further away from that snowy mountain.
And when you see teams that are so limited with their mobility options, and we are pulling towards the northern section of the map with so many elevation
W
shifts,
Ducky.
have to begin to wonder how they're actually going to fare. The lobby continues to develop here. Sky, Scroll, very familiar sights for these two right now. Just looking back, prime position, taking advantage of teams that were a little bit later to the punch because they were opting to try and find their Surge elsewhere on the edge of zone. Focus though, tough position here as a solo. And with so many healthy teams kind of surrounding him, he's gonna really have to dig deep here to find a solid
No one messes
placement.
with Ducky. I promise.
You don't want to lose hold of being inside that top 5, and that's exactly what he needed. Yarko going to be picked off, but he can't make it to the body loot just yet. Still, it's just buying time with the Surge.
Hey, I don't know what you want, Ducky.
Play it safe than sorry. I got open to focus and clutch it up. Yapko Panzer though, incredible zone pull. They're gonna have a bunch of opportunity here. Tag up some players. As now the rotate comes through. Big elevation change for a lot of teams here, but Panzer Yapko are gonna capitalize exactly on that.
They might be able to even protect Launchpad to a certain extent. They could
Okay.
use it to try and stay out of sight, out of mind for the rest of the lobby.
Someone unsubbed? What the fuck?
They got aggressive
That's
early
just
on,
mean.
and they are keeping it rolling in stride. Just a couple of really nice eliminations there, punishing teams.
Okay, back to
that are looking to
Fortnite.
try and way into zone. Now everyone's going to start trying to send it, though, towards that front side. Yatco Panzer, they're going to have to try and defend their position. Looking back, trying to set up. Fully aware of the fact they've got other teams on this same layer. So they're going to have to either go up or down.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn on 8-Ball for just, you know, this stream.
Same intentions.
Oh,
Just trying
fuck. Let's not mess around with
be
her
a little
thing.
bit more concealed there with the
If
pullback.
I...
That's going to put them now in that front side position of zone.
I'm liking what I'm seeing though. From 4th place to kick things off,
8-Ball.
all the way down to 27th in the most recent match. Now Sharkantini up above, looking to see if they
I'm watching this shit, Ducky.
a very good amount of eliminations, but they've got to be careful right when they're splitting loot. The retake from Chap and Flixie comes through, but Flixie is gonna fall all the way down.
I'm trying to, you know, make chat a little entertaining for you, okay?
And it looks like Teeny's down as well. This is gonna be tough for Shark as he's pushed into a solo situation.
Those opening shots from Chap and Flixie were all they needed.
Think that's
Shark
how it
and
works?
Teeny just sent tumbling down from height. Shark now as a solo. He's going to need Siphon, but he won't be able to get it. Just brought down, punished by Chap and Flixie. That was a great time to strike on height. Malabuka Vika, though, they might look to take a stab at it, but first they're gonna need
Okay.
to get some form of elimination.
Okay, so Ducky, it's exclamation mark 8-Ball, and then ask your question.
Hip to hip, they've got to stay as close to each other as they can to try and pull things off, but it's been disastrous. Chap, Flixie, they're on ultimate low. We just saw them on hype because what do you know? Gammy and Hottie have managed to work their way up to the high ground. Skyjump, though, just going to overshoot it, and that's going to leave Momsy to just stay based inside of that secondary height.
These
Technically,
will
but
work
Gammy
on
and Hottie,
YouTube,
they're wasting
so
no
we'll
time. They're
just
carving things out.
remove
Malabuka
those.
Vico, they're just trying to contend with all these players stuck in the lower layers with them. Sky Scroll, probably some of the healthier ones from the bunch, but still not a lot of materials to work with. All of these shifting elevation points have just caused everybody to burn through their materials. Cammy,
I think he slipped, goes down to fall. Skyjump now in the clouds.
No Malabuka dead.
Well picks up a knock. Pico Malabuka now are completely out of the
Okay,
game.
hold on. Let me
Skyjump
remove the
is
cooldown
solo
for you,
as
buds.
Scroll and Sky
If
without
I
any materials are
figure out
crumbling
where.
as well. More and more solos are forced to clutch this out, but the big duo that I have my eyes on is Chap and
Advanced.
Flixie.
Chap Flixie have still managed to make it worth it.
Okay, there's no cooldown now. Agent, behave with the questions, okay? Like,
ultimate low ground, trying to pray that he can find a third-party intervention.
Let's not
before
be
these
weird.
Teams are kind of working their way through so many of these pre-existing builds, but when you are one of the only duos left in the lobby, this is the perfect time to get a conversion here. But Azat, he's gonna be able to get that elimination onto Scroll. Now trying to contend with Chap and Flixie. They are doing a great job.
8-Ball is
pushing these teams
negative
back.
today.
Frontside control. They know that another player is just targeting over ahead of them. Telio's gonna opt to try and drop here. Azat has managed to work his way up, but he's got to keep his eyes on a swivel because Skyjump overhead. Flixie still managing to pull through though. It's just a duo versus a sea of solos here at the end of the day. Takata and Chat Flixie, the moment they get a north pulling zone, they bring home the win.
Capitalized on it instantly. Flixie showing how badly he wants to represent his own country in Germany, Dusseldorf later this year. Let's see if they can continue the pace. We're heading back. to
Bro,
our
8-Ball doesn't know a lot today, does
Thank
it?
you so much. They needed a solid game, and I'm guessing they'll be delighted with that victory royale because Chap and Flixie were 34th on the leaderboard, page 4, before we went into that game. And it was similar
Goof.
to Cringe and Vulcan
It
win
can't
in game
pick.
number 1, Mini Minor, them versus a load of solos.
Yeah, it was. I think they were the last duo there. There was 5 players alive. They were in a top 4 situation. Really nicely played from those guys. And actually at the end, I thought they played that low ground really, really well. Claimed a lot of the space, editing players down. It looked very, very sort of typical as you'd expect from a low ground team. So maybe this is something to expect from these guys moving forward. But again, like Taco said, North Pulling Zone, really favorable for them. And they made the most of it.
Say, I think
Don't be
these
just
guys,
Ducky.
in that situation, you just expect them to deliver, right? In that position, you just have to smash it home, and you can't let games like that go. You're right, I mean, the
Okay.
execution on it was
I added a
good. I
couple
think the
more
narrative for this team is that
positive
they've gone
things.
under the radar for a lot of people. because again, it's just not been the best of seasons for them. I think it's not been as performances in general haven't been as amazing.
Thank you, Streamlab. Thank you.
Doubt the talent here, right? Flixie and Chap have both shown in many duo finals over the years that they are two of the better players in the region. And in situations like this, Mini, where again they're just on low run and you just have solos dropping down, it's barbecue chicken, man. It's easy for them, right? They're not gonna have an easier situation than that. Give them props for that final shot there. Nice little jump shot there from Flixie. So again, a good game, but we need to see more of that from these two, right? I wouldn't.
Damn,
get too
Agent.
excited about them right now. We want to see them do that when zones aren't as favorable, maybe.
Well, we'll see what kind of zone they get after the break.
What the fuck? Okay. This is just rude. Okay, I'm gonna make coffee quickly. Y'all behave. Okay? Frickin' behave. I love how Streamlabs is like on my side. Bruh. Oh, Dobby is ducky.
Welcome back. If you didn't know, we're going to Dusseldorf in May, and the top 20 duos from EU make it. So Chap and Flixie, obviously Flixie being from Germany, want to be one of those duos, which is why they got themselves a victory royale before the break mini minor. Right, everyone in the audience is now caught up. So let's talk about some of the other duos, because Sky and Scroll, we're going to be talking about them after every single endgame with the consistent way that these guys are playing. Yes, Scroll ended up as a solo yet again, but Sky was with him for the long haul mini minor.
Yeah, it was a little bit more smooth from them, a little bit more what we expect. In that last game, they were playing Storm. They couldn't get refreshes. They had to sort of survive a little bit uncharacteristically low on the materials and, of course, on the heals. But this one, Lemon, was a lot more characteristic for them, using, actually, the roller coaster to make an elimination right there, which is really nice, really crafty from them. But, again, really, really nice from these guys. Low ground plays, finding eliminations, staying hip to hip, a little Scroll solo clutch as well to get an extra placement point as well. Really nicely done from them.
Yeah,
Good to see
taking
this.
out
Goodbye,
competitors
girl.
in that game, right? You saw them take Chino down, and now they move into first place.
Yes, This is where we're expecting to see them, and I'm so sorry for interrupting you there, Levin, but I got very excited to see where Focus and Thomas are, because I was a little bit concerned after that game. We didn't see much of them. I was thinking they were going to be further down the standings, but they are in 4th right now. So, Levin, all is not lost, clearly.
No, not at all. And I think the key thing for these guys is when they make it to these end games, they're going to have to continue to frag out. Because what we're already seeing from Sky and Scroll very early on in first place is that
What the
they
fuck,
are the
mate?
consistent
Like
team,
hell
right?
no.
They are the
That
average
was good,
placement
Kinsey.
so far
Welcome in,
today
bro.
is going to be 6. I wouldn't be surprised if
Ducky,
they were
are you
able to
liking
keep
the
a
picture
single
up top?
digit, average placement all throughout the weekend, right? And so if you are Focus and Thomas, how do you beat that? How do you top that? Especially where you might not be as consistent. You gotta find the LMs, Vinny.
Yeah, you got to find those limbs. They got 6 of them in that last game. Of course, they can't find those.
Ducky,
We
ask
saw it in that
Apo if they
previous
hate
game as well, managing to win up
if he
there
hates
on height.
cats.
If they make it to those
It
latter
looks like
stages,
him.
they
Like, what the
can
heck,
pop
man?
off. It's just a matter of getting there. Again, a little bit of a difficult zone for them, more pulling towards the north, so not quite as favourable. But the talent that they both have, you expect them to pop off an endgame. It's just getting there.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard, because Shark and Teeny, that was a zone in their favour, given that it was ending on wonky land. However, early game fights off spawn did see Teeny have to reboot Shark 11, but it's great to see them in 3rd place because they came back as if nothing had ever happened.
Yeah, look, it's a roller coaster of a game for them, right? And I know they obviously land wonky land, and so they're used to some rides. But ultimately, this game is a weird one because it turned on its head, right? They started off rough, they go down, they're able to recover it really well, and you see moments like this where you're thinking, all right, they had a rocky start to the game, but they're right back in it. It's Shark and Teeny time, baby. And then this happens, and then you're like, oh, this might not be the game for them. And as good as Shark is, he's only able to do so much in this end game. And so you have a game where, yeah, we're looking at it ends in wonky. You're thinking, even with the rough start they had to the game, they're still in a position to deliver, and they don't quite squeeze enough points out of it, at least for a team of their level.
Missed opportunity. That's all I can think of right there. When you go down on spawn, you lose all that time. You have to scramble. You have to try and recover. Go down the end game, and the zone is at your drop spot.
Okay, I think Streamlabs does like
now. Maybe
cats.
they can bounce back though and find a little bit more success off spawn, because ultimately that's what's causing them all the problems right now. We saw it when they get to end game. They're pretty good. They're getting those frags. They're staying consistent. Right there, not quite sure what the play was with the overdrive grenade. Kind of like try to go down, try to not send himself too far. Maybe a bit of a misplay there in hindsight, but hopefully they can now bounce back.
You mentioned misplays, Mini Miner, and I know that you love a bit of full damage, and I
Huh.
can't believe we're doing this, but we're going to do it because Cammy and Harry
Or not.
were looking great in the end game, maybe feeling a bit of the pressure, especially that Chap and Flixie were piling on, and we lost Cammy in a rather unfortunate way, Mini Miner.
Yeah, I think I want to just clarify here. I don't love seeing players go down to full damage, but
Yeah,
I
nah,
love the fact
else
that they can happen
Streamlabs
to them, right? It makes
needs
them
to
feel
get
human.
cancelled.
It makes me feel better about myself, because yeah, that happens. Unfortunately, that is what happens in Fortnite if you fall that distance. Really unfortunate for Kenny. Again, another one of those situations where they were set up for success. Another missed opportunity for one of our teams here. Set up on height, now with Hari as well, in a much better position than we saw them in that first game. Less scrambly. Full damage. I mean, it's not something you'd expect from Cammy right there. Got a little bit unlucky.
I'm not setting up Nightbot, Ducky. I'm sorry.
Pull off one of your GGs back to the lobby just then.
I think if I was the one that took him out, then maybe I would do that. But maybe not yet.
So let's talk about this next game that's coming up. We're halfway through day 1. Obviously, there's 12 games across the entire weekend. Sky and Scroll, just the most consistent duo here, as we're expecting. But have there been any surprises so far for you, Levin?
I think Pablo and Chino looking as good as they did. I think that there were quite a few people who I think doubted their ability to sort of be a fair level of consistent. And of course, we still have some games left, but I think we've seen in a variety of different zones them still be able to make it to these end games and showcase their ability. So if there is going to be one team pushing, Sky and Scroll to the end, it's good to see their Danish rivals being the ones there.
Mini Miner,
Yeah.
very quickly.
I mean, I completely agree. Also surprised at Swizzy and Pixie. The amount of teams that are in there at Dark Dominion right now. I broke it down at the beginning of the day. It's likely to be happening, but not to this degree. I wasn't expecting it to be this much. So they're struggling a little bit more than I expected today.
I'd like to see them at the beginning of the game if we can. So let's head over, get ready for game 4 with Taco and Takata.
Thank you, Frankie. Yeah, it's very tough for Swizzy and Pixie. We've talked about it, Taco. I mean, it seems to be a POI that players like kind of joining the party uninvited, but you'd normally expect like maybe 1, 2. There was like 5 duos there going against Swizzy and Pixie. Like, are you kidding me? It looked like they were going to be on Con originally, but it's just not going that way.
At the moment that Truly and Gonzo started to play a little bit of disruption factor, that's what's really drawing so much more attention inwards onto that mid-map position, because everybody thinks, hey, if we can take control of tunnels, if we can take control of Red Dominion, then we'll have ample opportunity to rotate elsewhere after the fact, and it's just
You're
caused
leaving
so
me,
many
Ducky?
issues for Swizzy and Pixie clearly here today, but it is only day 1, Takada, and we've got game 4 that's about to begin, so I really can't wait to see what happens next to kind of round things off for the day.
Yeah, halfway through the matches to kick things out. 12 total matches will be played throughout day 1 and day 2. And thinking in terms of the higher end of the leaderboard, a lot of these top duos, their average placement really isn't that good. The only one that's in the top 10 range is Sky and Scroll. Let's see what happens next. Game 4 is ready to go.
Hey, we've at least got a little bit of an overview in terms of what's been happening at Dark Dominion. You can already see the immediate 50-50 contest right there from Truly Gonzo, but also Reason, O'Reilly trying to defend the gas station. This time, Xteri adapted just because of the bus path. They're going to actually opt to see if they can beat Reason and O'Reilly to the punch for the first touchdown inside the gas station. Reason has been eliminated. Noah O'Reilly manages to open up his first chest.
shit.
Duck
Goodbye,
and Fire from
Ducky.
out of it, but 2 versus 1. This is going to be a rough way. Noah, though, keeping his composure, gets a little bit too aggro. Yeah, it's just gonna be a disengage here, Takada. He knows that he can't really afford to be eliminated just yet, but Xtarian adapted, striking back at the worst possible time for Noah and Reason.
It's tough because despite Noah Reason having won 3 of their off spawns so far, they're still 26 on the leaderboard. They've gotten 29th in a match, 28th, 11th, and that is... Sorry, I just kind of lost my words there. That is not the way you want to start Dark Dominion. They are not having a good day, Taco.
That kind of just sums up their day, though, no? Doesn't it? Just
literally
a series of unfortunate events.
Oh,
right now.
Dolby is Ducky. What are you
Swizzy
getting,
and
bro?
Pixie, but Swizzy still looking to see if he can recover anything out of this 4th lobby. I mean, you don't want to dig yourself a massive hole heading into day 2 because you know what sort of comeback potential is actually provided in a 2-day format, but fall a little bit too far behind, and that's where things get
Yo, welcome back, bro.
questionable.
Yeah, I mean, it is top 20 to qualify to Dusseldorf, but we have players like Swizzy, who's a global champion going into this year. Both his teammates didn't make major finals, and now Swizzy is not starting off strong. We talked about...
How you doing, bro?
Can put the numbers together, estimates. 5 good end games, or 250 to 300 points for a top 20. When we say good end game, we mean top 5 with 4 eliminations.
You doing good? Let's go.
If you like Noah and Reason, who are contested off spawn, when they win their off spawns, they got 28th, 11th, 29th.
Oh
That's just
my
not
goodness,
good enough
Ducky.
to be in that range to qualify. So they're gonna have to pick up the pace as we continue forwards. The good news is
You
we've only
freaking
played out 3
troll.
matches, another 3 to go today, and then tomorrow a whole other 6. So for Sky and Scroll at least, they are comfortably sitting in that #1 spot.
And the main thing for them is they just want to keep trying to extend that lead. Right now, they're 20 points ahead. Second place, Chino Pablo sitting at 156 heading into this 4th lobby. So Sky, Scroll, they're not looking to let their foot off the gas pedal anytime soon here. And they've really done an excellent job, I think, at kind of proving the analyst desk points from that pre-show, Takada, because so far their worst placement on the day is a 10th, and that was with 4 eliminations in tow.
Yeah, and they're the only team that has an average placement better than 10. Everybody else is 10 or worse, which is honestly quite interesting. It just shows how difficult this lobby is. They're currently average placement of 6, so I wouldn't expect anything less. I mean, having an average placement of 4 in the Div Cups leading up to this, Sky and Scroll, they know how to play consistently.
It's always going to be a sight. Over at
Yeah, we don't
Rockland,
have to
though.
pay to watch that.
Twig and Midro actually taking a stab
Control.
right now at Sharkantini, and they've been eliminated.
Oh shit!
Surprise aggression, just pulling up, catching Sharktini completely off guard here, not allowing
Damn,
them
bro.
any opportunity to recover. Even with the Twin Hammer shotties, Twig just felt very confident in that aggression, and have to expect that Sharkantini, they were so low, likely from having just fought Huddy and Fishy, is what I'm guessing. But either way, Takada, they'll be sent packing, waiting for Lobby 5.
That's what I was wondering. Did Sharktini fight Huddy Fishy and then there was like a third party that came through? I guess that's my assumption, but either way, that is not how you want to conclude
was good,
a
bro.
match
Welcome
like
in.
this, especially when the most recent matches for Sharktini have been 27th and 18th.
Goodbye,
Been
Ducky.
getting
Have fun,
eliminations,
buds.
but in the end games, it's just not been going their way. Chap Blixie, they had a good zone in the last match, but you can't pull good zones every single game. Good news is when you're up there, you do have the super pad. Takes you over 330 meters in the sky if you combine it with the Flowberry overdrive. So they've got the rotate on lock, rotated in early. And for Swizzy, we saw how this match started. Let's hope it doesn't end that way.
It's always going to be an uphill battle, though, when you're left as a solo. The reboot opportunity a little bit more difficult to come by because there are just so many teams kind of rotating through that position. And so it makes it difficult because obviously sound audio cue is going to draw attention, and then you have to deal with everybody else taking your duo one more time, just putting your net surge even further and further into the dirt. Lunix and Wolvex, though, they might have to contend with Yepko and Panzer soon enough at Painted Palms. Both of those duos kind of just taking things in stride here today. Gone and Faded, a duo that has already confirmed themselves for one LAN taking place this year. Takada, later on with the Reload Elite Series finish that they had, knowing that they're going to be on the battle bus for the EWC LAN later on this year, but they would obviously like to join the top 20 players for the Major One Summit LAN too.
That would be ideal, being able to make both. Kamihari, we mentioned it earlier, Kami's now leading the packed in finals appearances, but I'm just gonna ignore, forget what happened in the last match, okay? Let that not affect our mental. Continue on forwards. Other than that, I've been very impressed with Hari and Kami. They've been playing aggressive for height, it's been working most of the time. And for Swizzy Pixie, it looks like due to the early game, they've been put into a bit of desperation here. They need a damage, they need loot. But I don't know if Chap and Flixie is the duo you want to fight.
Looks like they might have gotten what they needed, though, no? Flixie's shield being so low tells me that took a lot more damage than what he was anticipating from Pixie Swizzy, and that allowed them the primary opportunity to disengage. Probably still in a little bit of a hole, though, with their net surge overall, given that opening point, but something's better than nothing at this stage. This new Sanctuary continues to be just carved out, scary and Saez making sure that there is no scrap metal left behind.
They're aware, though, there are quite a lot of players. You can look at the minimap, 3 different duos in the surrounding area. And then when you're playing in a finals lobby like this, the patterns, you got to remember them. Club G Prax already kind of rebuilding up their tower. There was another one north of them. Vico Malabuka, it's not been going horribly for them. I mean, they're top 10. They're well in qualifying range for Dusseldorf, but when you think of the name Vico, when you think of the name Malabuka, these are FNCS champions. They have LAN experience. This is some of the best in EU. It's those veteran players. So I'd like to see them higher up, but can't complain with the top 10.
Great opportunity, though, right now for Yepko and Panzer. Already got some initial damage onto Sliz, and Panzer will be able to convert it into just a clear elimination now. Schmally just trying to stay hidden, hoping that Yepko Panzer don't decide to continue the aggression. Got a rock for coverage right now. But this is always just so awkward because it just puts such a massive delay into your overall plan. You can see already that zone pulling a little bit more southern. Schmali's going to have a lot of ground to make up for here. And don't know how long Yepko and Panzer are actually going to choose to stick around.
Yeah. But Yanis, even though, much more favorable position. We've seen what they end up doing with all the surge bases here. You do have to be careful now, though, because you try tagging the other surge bases, but you take damage yourself. It is the net surge now. So it's not quite as easy as before.
Was not really liking those up-close and personal fighting options, though.
Oh,
Great Twin Hammers, Grey Iron Pump, rough, but
interesting.
Hydra and Tweg, they've got control of the Mending Machine. A couple of patch-ups. Huddy Fishy, though, they are just trying to see if they can break into the box. They want to get really aggressive here against Tweg and Hydro, and for good reason. Fishy gonna open up with a big knock. That just means it's all down to Tweg to try and defend his duo's hopes here, but it's just not going to be enough. And there is so much time now for Huddy and Fishy. They've got the wheel to make their next rotate, but we saw what happened inside of the heat that they played. The one lobby that they didn't have to worry about Sharkantini at all, they were able to convert into a victory royale, Takada. So now the question is, can they do it again in a set lobby finals?
Well, based on the way they've started out this day, they basically have to. Is all I'm gonna say. 43rd place, 8 points. They need a massive match here. For 9, though, the quick zipline shot. But yeah, I'm hoping we see Huddy and Fishy make something happen, because I would like to see them up there.
Nathan and Nebzo over by Sus Studios, just kind of hanging around their surge base, but they're going to need a little bit more surge. Only 34 above net threshold. Venus and Franek not too far away from their current position, but they'd rather take shots at the teams that are still working their way in from store, and teams that just want to make it into the next edge of zone in the first place. That's why we're seeing a lot of teams that are kind of hurting for surge, just lingering around the edge of zone. They know that's likely going to be their best opportunity. Since they're the first ones, you always want to take advantage of the late arrivals, but have to be wary. The moment you send out shots, you might even draw attention from other teams that are, you know, maybe boxed up a little bit higher than you. We've seen players get punished for that before.
That we have. Lucia Howley. Strong start to the day, but it was just that one match. Rest of them haven't gone quite their way, but no O'Reilly reason. They need to find a refresh here, and the aggression is not lacking, but it's left in a 1v1.
Shaco's, though, is incredibly low, and just look at those chug jugs.
W's agents.
Convert, and the elimination, Tilio and Shaco's now means that Reason should be able to take advantage of those chug jugs left after the fact. So, despite a rocky start, this is looking like a little bit of the road to recovery for these two.
Thinking about recovery, Huddy and Fishy continuing to apply pressure. It's actually Deemish Storm who get completely taken out. They were 200 below surge. They were forced to make an aggressive play, and Huddy Fishy are looking very good now.
Huddy Fishy alive. Interesting.
Surge, everything you could ever want. You called it, Taco. Once they had an opportunity like this previously, they won the match, and they're
Your
looking
dad is
to
so
do it here in
smart.
the
Why,
major
Hoodie?
finals.
It would be ideal. It's always nice to jump a few placements on that leaderboard, but Nebs, Nathan, they were trying to take
Oh, double fuck. Yeah, Hoodie.
a little bit more into Ravine over by New Sanctuary, hoping to conserve some of their material, but unfortunately they were not the only ones. Surefour and Repairs caused them to expend a little bit more mass than they would like to, and there are just so many other teams as well already based up higher health positions. Great job there by Thomas. Finds a nice elimination. It's a 2-pack finish for Focus and Thomas, but even
Freaking
with 2 eliminations,
W
they're still only
Cody.
128 above. Focus trying to eat pizza on the way in, but Cody just looking to try and hold this duo out.
Yeah, Nebs Nathan though, doing a good job looking back here. They need to find these tags. They use the flow mish to tank a bit of the surge. Scroll now though. This is the worst we've seen them heading into an end game. They're always a good amount above. Now they're just right bouncing up and down the surge threshold above and below. We'll see if they're capable of finding a good amount of tags here.
But it's a lot of our top 10 leaderboard players that are kind of struggling with their surge in this lobby, Takada. Nebs and Nathan, they're still sitting 79 below, having to use up a lot of resources just to try and heal it out, hoping that the lobby takes care of itself. As Thomas, you can already see, just too problematic. Focus eliminated. He'll be forced to play the remainder of this as a solo, and Nebs, Nathan immediately jumped on. Teams can smell it out when a duo is hurting. Surefour repairs. They take their opportunity to strike.
It's
Refresh,
on there, Hoodie? The
something
fuck?
that they're likely in need of as well as Thomas trying to take advantage of these players gliding in after the fact. Good shots out
Interesting.
of the sky, but there's so much action taking place here, and Medius, I have a feeling there's only one reason we are watching it, Takada. It's just the surge woes continuing to put so many of these duos into very awkward positions.
Even Chaff and Flixie. I mean, so many of our top teams, they are all going down from coming off a 10 elimination win to getting eliminated before the end game has even begun. Cringe Volko also winning the first match. Now 197 below. We were talking about it. All these top teams, they are just put into panic now.
Loki,
As we see
Hoodie,
how Cringe picked
this
up
shit
Flixie.
is semi-boring?
Great shot connecting.
I don't know. I am more excited for NA than I was for
Even if
EU.
you got high ground, if you don't have surge, you can't really do much with it. Instead of being able to apply pressure to the duos underneath,
Just hate.
maybe look for some clean.
This is
refresh
EU.
eliminations
NA
instead.
starts at like
Cringe
midnight
just
for you, bro.
begging for survival at this point.
Like, it is
Sky,
so
Scroll,
late for
another
a
team
weekend.
that we know is leading on the day, first place position on the leaderboard, but even when we checked in with them, they were still so incredibly low on their surge, and Cringe praying
Yeah.
the opportunity opens up, but no one
NA's
is
beating
really
his shit,
giving him
yeah.
the chance to try and take any shots. He has to connect. It's now or never. Otherwise, the surge is just going to take him out. And before he can even try and react, the player just scouts out solo. That'll be a wipeout. Vico Malabuka, though, they actually do have surge to work with, but they are waiting to see
It's nerd, yeah.
where
They
their
are
next
nerds.
rotational pool is actually going to hinge upon.
This is a perfect opportunity, though, for duos like Vico Malabuka, who are in 10th and even below. Now, with a lot of these top teams having gone down, it's your chance to push your way up that leaderboard. Side note, I saw Thomas HD solo in height with no shield.
Hey, fake it till you make it.
Let's see what he can
Thomas.
do.
He's postured up right now. It's very obvious. He might even be
Oh, well, yeah.
to challenge him on height, because if he can
Yeah,
get just one big
I'm
shot
more
back
excited for
into the
NA.
right
NA will
there.
be more interesting.
Cypher
I don't know.
Cypher
I'm not
now.
streaming NA
You
though.
never know
It's too late.
when the tables can actually turn in your favor. Thomas hoping to be given a little bit of a break here, but Panzer, Yapko, wait, they're sort of hovering that secondary height. They choose to go up now. The wait and see as Thomas has found options. Schmally, though, cleared out. It's a body that Thomas can't get to, though, with no fist and no overdrive grenades. He just doesn't have any mobility.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anything, to be fair.
Damn, bro.
Pablo Gino, though, great job picking up an elim. This is
Anyways,
the
how you
Scroll
doing,
looking
y'all?
healthy. As now Sky and Scroll getting closer as well to height. Thomas, if he's
Nice.
known for anything other than the second places, it's his aim. And that's showing with the elim, but Vico Malabuka as well now. Picking up some extra elims as Sky
You want a
and
bed
Scroll
rod? I
seem to have
fucking
made
feel
a
ya.
solid comeback.
Lupshi was looking a little bit pinched there for a moment, but Sky Scroll indirectly going to be able to bail him out, putting pressure against Vico. Is going to force him to close off here, but Cheat and Giannis, 10 splashes, a pizza. They've definitely got the heals for it. A good amount of material count too, and one more time, a south pulling zone. That's just extending them the
It's
favor,
laggy? It might be your
being able to
internet,
take
Hoodie.
over height for the time being.
Or
But it's one thing to have height, it's another thing to hold it, and we've seen how many swap
I don't
overs
see
have
any
taken
lag
place in the
thing.
previous lobbies beforehand. Thomas HD though still
Oh, the
taken
supermarket.
as a solo,
Yeah.
forced to
See,
play, though,
welcome
from a lower layer.
to
He's
G-Force
just
now.
hoping that he can get that one big shot.
It is not the
Managed to find
best.
an overdrive grenade though, at least along the way here, but still he needs to find a player that's going to be weak enough to fall the moment that he connects with this chaos reloader. He's
Yeah, I'm
just
so tired. But we got
thin,
coffee
doesn't get the chance.
in like a
Still a
W
good clutch
mug.
for what he entered the end game with. Giannis cheating though. A lot of the big teams kind of struggle in this match. I'm not sure how many retakes we'll see come through. Pablo
It's a
Chino,
little
though,
laggy.
This is one
Huh.
of the big teams that are doing it incredibly well in this match. If they want to push their way up in that leaderboard and separate the gap from the players below them, now is their chance.
Yup.
Moneymaker goes down. The pressure is on for these teams below, but Giannis and Cheatin, they are smooth
W
cruising
mug.
up in the clouds.
Size and Scary, they're just hoping to stay standing on their 2 feet here. Size gonna be the first one to be knocked though from the pairing, and Scary just scrambling all around, doesn't have any build, so he's just waiting to try and avoid as many shots as possible. But Malabuka, Vico, they've sent it, they've gone for height. Giannis cheating though, they're not gonna forfeit it anytime soon here. Another overtake, they managed to hold strong. Vico, Malabuka forced to drop, and that left them in such a tattered position. They're now trying to get the job here onto Cheatin and Giannis, but they've got more than enough materials to work with, so they'll be able to just reconnect later on, slightly lower, but still applying so much
What
pressure to
resolution are
this
you
lobby.
on, Hoodie?
Pizza's gonna come out, still have the overdrive grenades. Panzer also dropping straight to ultimate low, picking up eliminations along the way. He needs the
don't
points.
know.
He lost Yapko, but the siphon isn't gonna be enough. The storm is too much to contend with.
We're reaching the moments where the chaos unfolds on low. Players running out of mats. Giannis has gone down though. I hope he didn't slip. Lucia, Howley,
What's
they
someone,
capitalize
Yaya?
on it. Overtake height, looking to close it out, but we still have Sky and Scroll down below. Elimination after elimination getting picked up. The regroup comes through as well. Can Howley and Lucia close this out?
Bro,
Will
Sky and Scroll are doing
be able
so
to win
fucking good.
below?
Can't count out Cheatin though, who's also trying to play a little bit of a healing game from inside the storm, but Sky, Scroll, they need more mats. They're gonna go for the chomp on height. They managed to at least take frontside position onto the hill. Zone pull working
Hold on.
so
Let
heavily
me-
in their favor. Sky, Scroll, they might be able to get this done, but no Sky. He sent packing. A little bit of a challenge there from Cheatin, but the siphon onto Gonzo. That's gonna be a huge lifeline here. Scroll and Sky, they're just looking to see how many points.
They're just doing like good, yeah. I don't know. I'm not rooting specifically for someone.
Sky has been taken out. Giannis cheering on his team.
Oh, just too late.
He able to catch him just off guard in those final moments. It was a great attempt.
You're on 1440p. Yeah, that could be
I was starting to get nervous a little bit there for Sky
that
and
could be
Scroll.
why.
Neither player had shield. It was looking like they could lose the 1v2, but our most consistent duo, not only on the day, through the whole season, it's looking strong. Let's head back to the desk so they can break it down.
Thank you very much, guys. Finally, we see Sky and Scroll taking a victory royale. They were not relying on wins at all in their heat. They're so consistent, they don't need to. But it's fantastic to see them take a W11.
Yeah, true, Hoodie.
In that
But
average
like,
placement
the
alone,
higher
and
the
can we
resolution,
just give props
the
to
more
Sky?
internet it
Being
pulls,
the
the
highest
laggier you
impact
are, stuff like that.
player in the tournament so far. You saw just how much Cheatin was just trying to find the finish, and Sky is just like crawling behind the object so he can't get shot, and so Cheatin couldn't get the siphon, and then it just allows Scroll to roll on through and hit the shot the second Cheatin left the box. Well played from these two again. It's been an impressive day. I think the win just summarizes how good they've been so far, Mini.
Yeah, and even in that end game, they were quite quiet. A lot of the sort of focus, I suppose, was on the heights and the teams up there. Players, of course, playing up in those mid-ground layers, but they were just silently, quietly getting their eliminations down on the mid-ground, finding their refreshes. Not
Gotta
trying
go to
do
bed,
anything too
Hoodie.
crazy, playing
Good
out
night,
their game as
bro.
we know that they can do. And I'm glad that you mentioned that the knocked body situation.
Bro,
right
Scroll
there,
is a
'cause I was looking
fucking
at it from the other
kid.
angle. I was looking at it from
Holy.
that, whatever it was, like telephone pole or whatever it was that was actually saving the.
Bro
the
gotta
game.
be
I think
like
they have
15
that
or
to help whatever
something.
it was to thank
Damn.
for that as well. Really nice, genius plays from them. But it just shows that these guys can win games. We spoke about them being very consistently
the
making
fuck?
that top 2 from that top 5 situation. We broke it down at the beginning. But what we haven't seen so much from them, particularly when it comes to the Heats, of course, was that victory royale. That was almost the missing thing from what we've seen in FNCS, and there it is in that game. Really nicely played. They didn't panic, and I think it was Scroll who picked up a really crucial shot onto Gonzo. I mean, that was a beautiful one in itself. I mean, that was incredible.
Bro is
Shows what they can do
16.
individually. It was Sky, actually. This
Jeez,
shot
bro.
right here keeps them in the game and keeps them alive there as well. And this was the object here, Levin. It was this moment right here that allowed Cheaton to, or didn't allow Cheaton
They're
to go for
both
the finish and
16.
then ultimately win them the game. Really nicely done from them.
Minnie,
I
can
love
say
how-
it? Can I say the
Damn.
Go.
You can say it.
He looks a lot younger, yeah.
Jeez Louise, these guys are too good. I mean, how do you stop these guys? How?
GG, Levin. Let's head back to the lobby. You guys, let's head to a break.
Okay, yeah. Lock in. Fun commands. I want to add more for y'all, so you know you're not bored, but I don't know what. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, what, Ducky? Still EU, buddy. NA starts like 10 PM for you. Okay, what will the response be then, Yaya? Like... That is shit, I know. Like, I'm wanting to stay up, but it's like 11 till like 2 AM if it's like not delayed any. Oh my goodness, Ducky. I don't know, Yaya.
A masterclass from Sky and Scroll before the break, taking game 4 in style. Let's take a look at the leaderboard and see where we are. 4 games into the Major 1 final.
Rip
here in
her
Europe. It's been a
internet.
really interesting day
Jeez.
so far. Disappointment for some big names, but if you take a look at the top, Denmark is celebrating. Pablo and Chino. We're expecting to see them in Dusseldorf, but I don't
Holy
think we're
fuck,
expecting
dude.
them to see them in number
like
2 on the
5 out of the
leaderboard right now,
6.
Minimana.
I don't know where Focus
Yeah,
is
it's
from. At
funny
least
because
5 out of the
it
6 are
feels
fucking
weird to say we
Danish.
weren't
Holy
expecting
shit.
them to because they're such great players and they've achieved so much as of late with the trio of Fredoxy. It just hasn't been their season, but they're turning it up to 11 here for the major finals.
Holy
They've been
shit,
performing very
bro.
well, exactly as we expected them to. It's another good end game for those guys right there as well. 5th place with 3 eliminations. Not necessarily too frag heavy, but especially in some of those zones, it was really, really tough for them. A little Pablo Wingu solo clutch here as well, all the way up to that top 5. But really nicely done from these guys. Can they keep the consistency though?
Yeah, man. Look, Frankie's talking about surprises. Hey, I wasn't surprised. I think everyone else should stay on that side. Because I told you, Chino and Pablo have something for this lobby, and they have shown that today again. It's going to be hard to catch up when you have Sky and Scroll, monsters of the region above you, but they are really showing a good account of themselves today.
It's really great to see them getting things done as a duo, as opposed to Pablo just having to be the one to hide and clutch it out for once. I'm really excited to see more from these guys. If we take a look further down the leaderboard, look at number 6.
And then the
Science and
response,
Scare. We have to
Shia?
talk about these so that Takata will pay us handsomely. A Spanish duo, relatively unknown in this lobby 11, but they're impressing with their consistency.
Yeah, look, they've got a lot of experience, right? Sires and Scary have been around for quite some time now. And I think ultimately, yeah, a big surprise that they've been able to sort of make it to endgames. And the reality is when they've made it to endgames, they've now had, sort of 2 games where, again, they've actually shown a good account. They obviously had that 3rd place in game 2. And in that game there, when they run out of steam, they're still able to just get a couple of limbs that just keep them ticking on that leaderboard. So really impressive here from the Spaniards.
It's also impressive for Janus and Cheatin. We saw them taking high in one of the earlier games today. They went for the same strat this time, and they didn't fall off Mini Miner because we were teetering on the edge for a moment there.
Yes. Well,
they didn't
until
both
they
fall
did.
off.
Yeah, they didn't both fall off until Janus did. They held height really well. Ultimately, we saw, I think it was Malabuka going up without Vico, weirdly enough, and tried to sort of disrupt that high ground. Didn't quite work out for him, but it ultimately meant that they then got sprayed out. It actually helped them because they were actually able to connect then to a existing Sky base, an existing Surge base that was already in the area. The reason why they didn't win the game, that telephone wired pole thing, whatever that thing is, was ultimately the reason why they didn't have a good shot at winning right there, and of course their Sky and Scroll won. Unfortunate to see another fall damage. Again, I don't love to see it, but it just reminds me that these players are human, and I am not the only one that does that.
Yeah, Janus is
Yo, you're
right?
back.
He's a bit
W's.
upset on that one. He
Oh
actually,
my
tweeted
goodness,
out saying
Grammy.
I'm sell out. So he obviously feels like, they would have had a better game had it not been for him. The one thing I'll say to you, Janus, is you're doing amazing. I think so many people counted these guys out and were not expecting them to be
Do we
anywhere
not
near
have
the
a
top
field?
5. And so to see them playing as well as they played so far today, props to them.
Yeah, props to Cheatin as well for clutching that second. It very nearly looked like he was going to win that 1v1 he isolated. So great to see such a great turnout from these guys. But I want to see who isn't doing so well. I know that sounds particularly evil. Send all your complaints my way, but it's because as we get to the later pages of the leaderboard, we're seeing some big names here who are in big
I want
trouble.
coffee too,
Remember, the
guys.
first 2 pages are what counts. If you want to make it to the LAN in Dusseldorf, top 20 is where you need to be. And if we head to the very last page, which
What
we
the
never
heck,
do
Tim?
on a day 1 of a grand final, especially, we are making an exception because in 47th place, Levin, it's Swizzy and Pixie.
Big man Tin, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not
elimination
looking
spree.
good. Look, we highlighted it. Mini set the expectation at the start of the day that Dark Dominion was gonna be, it's gonna be tough.
Go
It's
get
gonna be
coffee,
close,
Granny.
around the area giving you problems. Even Mini couldn't foresee just how crazy it was gonna get there, right? We tune into that POI and there's like 4 different teams at the start of the game, and it's like Swizzy and Pixie have no room to breathe whatsoever, and they're really struggling to deal with it. I don't see things getting much better anytime soon. They're in a tough situation.
Well, there's just 2 more games today for these guys to reset. And
Yeah,
just
no,
try
I know,
and get
but-
something done. Gone
But,
are
like,
the days of the 1.5
get coffee.
multiplier. They need to have ideas, and they need to have them right now as we head into game number 5 with Taco and Takata.
part of those new ideas might even involve a new drop spot altogether, Takata, and that's
There's no coffee. What the
kind of,
fuck?
I think a difficult spot to be in if you are such a veteran duo like Swizzy and Pixie, because normally you'd anticipate, you know, I've done my time in this scene.
Poor
I should have
Granny.
this fully uncontested, but Truly and Gonzo, they just won't have
All
any.
right,
So
next
we'll get to see
game.
what's actually taking place in game 5 here one more time.
Second to last game.
The good news is, as we've been mentioning, it's a 2-day tournament, so you kind of have the transition from day 1 to day 2 to do your homework, do your prep, and kind of decide. Swizzy Pixie, are they going to switch their drop? What are they going to change? Because clearly something isn't working. And side note, I mean, what is up with players falling off a height? I feel like almost every game today, at least one player has fallen off a height and gone down. I don't know if I'm losing my mind, but it's got to be more matches than not.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is it happens to the
Poor
best
Goofy.
of us, and as many already kind of pointed out, everyone is human, and I think that those instances where we happen to catch players at some of their worst moments,
Oh, hell no.
it goes how it goes, but that's not to say that they can't make a recovery point later on.
There's not even that many people, bro.
That's true. That's true. I'm curious too at Wonky Land how things are going. I mean, the last match, not too well, but for Noah, Riley, and Reason, also not too well for them. They won the initial fights off spawn. Now for the 4th match, they went down here in the 5th one. We'll see if that can change.
What they're really after is just getting these first couple of eliminations onto Xteria and Adapted. They know that there's going to be other players challenging them at Squibbly Shores, so the longer it takes them to wipe out this other duo, the more dangerous it's going to be to actually stick around inside of Squibbly, because then you don't know
Why is he
where
crashing
players
out?
might choose to actually try and crouch high behind every single nook and cranny. You just don't want to take your chances of opening a door. Next thing you know, 2 players waiting in tow with shotguns at the ready. It's just, it leaves too many things up to chance, and chance isn't something that Reason and O'Reilly can really contend with right now, because they've got to get more points. You want to close out A1 strong.
Looking over at chat, Flixie. Trying to see if I'm concerned or if this is totally fine. We have teams from afar taking shots. I don't think full aggression's gonna come through, but chat Flixie, they have picked up one. The player down below trying to swim his way out of it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Not looking good. Double pizza too. Legendary pistol. Hold on.
I was looking more at what was happening in that elimination feed. I saw Shark, I saw Teeny, and I saw Huddy and Fishy with the credits.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I don't know.
See what's actually been developing over at Wonky Land, because right now Painted Palm
It is sadly. Nothing is happening. It is just boring. They're playing how they're supposed to be playing. Nothing fun.
The opportunity has kind of just fizzled out here.
Like, I know NA is gonna be a shit show, but just click some Pete's ego.
And Country to kind of defend their position. She's still looking to give chase though against Dan DeFuso. Seems like they're really after more than just the surge. They want the eliminations too.
That they do. Will they full commit to it or not though? Only 9 builds. Not enough to confidently push someone. As they're gonna opt to kind of
I mean, who is gonna be hopping on to, you know, watch it then? Like,
going on in Wonky, so
to like play.
we can
There's like no one.
but Andy Puzo.
No one except you. Like,
Yeah, we don't have to wait
anyone
much
else.
longer. We got a chance to view it in 4K, and Huddy, just the shots from overhead. Huddy, Fishy, who are you feeling like? Because Shark Teeny, that is not an easy duo.
Granny is not home, Kim.
And I'm sorry to report to all of the EU com, but unsuccessful hate watch here in Game 5, that's for sure.
Yeah, like, yeah, you're not home.
Taking a quick peek of the last match performance for Huddy Fishy after they successfully got off spawn. They got 11th with 6
Your
eliminations.
baby pig?
But I
Give
guess it was
me.
enough of a confidence booster.
Give
to win the off
me.
spawn now, so they get another chance at the end game. But that's pushing Shark and Teeny lower and lower. They were already in 9th going into this match. Now they placed 45th.
You wanna play some rank, Cam?
They're gonna get pushed out of the top 10 most likely.
We're on different servers though, bro.
Luckily, though, they'll still have 7 other games, technically speaking. 1 more left on the day. Game day number 1 here. Ghosty. It's just a focal point on getting the shields back up to a healthy position.
You are willing to play on EU.
Great job so far today. Sitting in that 6th place position on the leaderboard. Still well within striking range of even trying to break into the top 5. And when you think Vico and Malabuku, who are only just ahead at 158 points, but Thomas and Focus, more specifically,
No.
75 points.
He is
3rd
too
place position
cute.
right now, and they need a big game here in lobby number 5 for one reason and one reason alone, Takada. It's because they don't want to let Sky and Scroll get out of leaderboard distance, the realistic amount of points that you can actually bring back and close those gaps. They are, you know, it's not too far gone just yet, but it's starting to get there, and that's where things can be a little bit scary, because even with the 2-day format, you still don't want to leave it in your opponent's hands exclusively.
I don't know, yeah. If I'm Thomas HD, the way it's looking right now,
Should we, Cam?
it's just deja vu all over again. I mean, top 3, top 2, very doable. But that first place is getting further and further away. Demir Storm, though, looking for a sneaky play. All it takes is a quick 3-2-1 or double punch shot. Will Fishy and Huddy take the wrong path out of Wonky?
Will Demish Darm actually be able to net something from this too? They're also another one of our teams that's kind of hurting. A team that I don't think many people would have anticipated to be this far down on the
Okay,
leaderboard.
I'll get on. Like, give me a minute. I'll put it on a different
Steve.
screen so I can
Might
like
actually have
do
Chunk
something.
Up Deluxe's HP giving chase, and that's going to be the final elimination. Darkos has gone down. But
I'll get on. Just give me
big
like
time
a
sink right
minute,
now,
okay?
And unlike Huddy and Fishy, Darm Demish, they
Okay, we're back. We're alive. I do need to turn off this one. Sorry. Invite. Oh, oh, oh. Got a mic? Or not? Oh, oh. Oh my goodness, Cam. What do we do with you, bro? Okay. Okay, no guarantees on how long I'll stay on for, okay? I'm exhausted. Okay, what you? Bet. Okay, we got this. Okay, Cam, first game, first win, okay? We got this. Too easy. Just triple edit on these kids on 100 ping. Should be easy. Light work. I can't even find a gun, bro. Be on the floor, on you. Nah, shit, my bad, bro. Let me find a freaking gun. Headset? She's gonna oof you, Granny. Yeah, I'm not locked in, Cam. Oh my gosh, Heidi. Poor big boy. Yo, welcome in, Chase. Nope. Not vacuum. am so fidgety today. It's not okay. You want to land on Spawn Islands? Oh, here. Okay. I require some, Yaya. Please and thank you. Oh, goodness, she ate them all already, didn't you? Oh my goodness, Yo-Yo. Okay, Cam, where the heck are you? Oh, you're in there. Never meant to see you. Double, you saw. You got a mythic ARGs. Which one? Damn, bruv. Lucky. Hold on, Granny. Yeah, she definitely looks very happy. Dude, I swear bro had a slurp. Nice. Good shit. I'm good, I got a slurp running. I can carry it though. Yeah, I know, Goof. That is even better. Okay, we're good. Oh, hell not good. Yo, this kid's coming, Cam. This kid's like over there. Okay. Wait, there's more metal? Freaking nerd. Like 250 a minute? Gucci? Yeah, sounds about right. Wait, type in chat how much you have. Yeah, I'm 422. Like broke on wood though. That's my main issue right now. No. Kitty is so cute. Yo, Cam. My floor. Okay, that's you. What the fuck? Fucking psychopaths. I got you. Holy nerd, Cam. Now for real, yeah. Look, these kids play weird. There was another one on this side. Here. Don't have to go, just there. Yep. Hi, I'm here. Do you need some? Oh. Here, let's have. I'm full of metal. Fuck, my aim sucks, bro. Yeah, barely. Dude, we can easily kill this kid. Yep, coming. I'm not going in the storm, bruv. He's white. Okay, I'm here. Fucking hell. I cracked one, but bro's healing. Fucking boyfriend, yeah. Nah, GG's. Hey, I'll take a third place. Freaking take it. GG's. Bro, what the fuck, Ian? Goodbye, Goof. To be fair, Kim, this game is like more bugged than bugged, so. Oh, what, Ducky? I think so, yeah, Cam. When? Yeah, I don't know. Depends. Like a game or two. We'll see. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention. Okay. How are we doing here, you nerds? Here, and I made for some chocolate. W. Oh shit. There's a tiny bit of brick outside here. How about your Fortnite? That was Loki kind of sick. Yo, Cam, there's another kid in me. Oh, well, we got that kill. You good? Fuck, where's my aim, bro? Now for real, yeah. Now my aim has just left me. He is in here. He's white. Yeah. Got him. He's knocked. Floats under there. Shit ton of mats. Someone's landing back on you, bro. He goes up here again. Cause why the fuck not? Nice, W Cam. Not right now, Jellet. Okay, I got one more kid in me and one landing on me, I guess. So 2 now. Got him. it. There's a gold gatekeeper if you're interested. Oh. What should this kid there too? He's 50. Okay. Build's back here too. Not too worried about that one right now. Here, you need some more? Sorry, bro, I don't have shields either. We're fucked. Wait, can we go back up here? There should be shields there, right? I'm gonna check this. Nothing. Fuck. Can you throw some shields down here or too late? W's. Nice. Oh fuck. Yeah, we gotta go. Seems like they're over here. Somewhere. They're range. Up here now. Huh? Oh, can I make it to you? Yeah, I got you here. How much time taking? 5 right now, yeah. It's not completely in circle. Cam, behind you. Thank you. Bro. Bro, no, I got knocked. No, GG's. Yo, welcome back. GG's. Hey, plat 3, let's go. W game for real. I am sorry, Dokam. I am calling it. I am ending stream. I am fucking exhausted. It's been like 3.5 hours already. The energy is like gone. W ya. Appreciate the carry, Cam. Good boy. W's. Alright. I will see y'all tomorrow. It could be that we're, gonna do an attempt on watching day 2 of this. But we'll see. Anyways, good night, guys. Goodbye.